It's very intense.
Yeah. It's quite claustrophobic. Wait, hang on. If I move the computer even an inch, you'll see what I mean. Because this is my bed. This is the wall. And like, this is about how much space I've got going on.
Oh,
Oh, this is my
okay.
weeb shelf.
I see the manga.
Oh.
Yeah. And the anime. And then the Miku figurine. So DeHans is always with us.
DeHan's all grown up.
Oh my gosh, no!
That sounds like a great kids' TV show.
Ah.
I can provide musical accompaniment, Anna, by the way. So I will put
Yay! I'll
Yay.
start up Spotify.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be the road to adventure, as usual, so...
I'm excited.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, there's no
So-
Microsoft app for Spotify music. Stop it, Microsoft. No one buys anything
No one
from
likes
Microsoft
you,
store.
Microsoft.
No.
Yeah, genuinely, even though I use like Microsoft Office, because it's all free on my YouTube, on my uni, I don't think I've ever bought anything from there.
Mm.
Ooh.
When I had my brother's old laptop, he had like Microsoft Office for Mac 2009, which was still like it was still valid, I guess. So like I just used
Still
that the whole time, and then I went to uni, and I was like, what?
Oh my god. Yeah, genuinely though, when I leave uni, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't want to pay for it.
I know that like Australian Navy at least, because boyfriend's dad is in the Navy, and like they can give out packages of Microsoft Office for like $10, which is it's pretty good. I don't know, because I guess they need it.
Yeah. Okay.
Join Navy.
Hell yeah! That's my plan. That's the goal. So before we start, does anyone have anything we need to discuss pre-game?
No.
Okay.
I need to log into Spotify though. Sorry, hold on.
Also, Lily, your hair looks great.
Oh yeah.
I went out today. I went outside, so.
Oh wow.
Miracle.
There it is.
I know. Who could have guessed that?
Oh, 1 second.
Oh, shut up now. Okay.
Oh, Lily. When do you go back to Australia?
20th?
20th of February.
Oh, February. I thought you meant
February.
like.
Oh, okay, I was going to
February?
say,
I thought you
your
were
room
gonna
looks
say
really
January, I thought.
decorated for someone going back in 10 days.
I thought you were back January. Or was that for a quick visit or something?
No, February. Because I've got friends coming at the end of January and during February, so I'm just staying a bit longer and being a good host.
Instead of
Okay.
having them come to Japan and you not be there.
Yeah.
Whoops.
They were like, when he was like, if you've left Japan, I'm gonna be so angry, and I was like,
Oh.
Who's coming?
Quinny's coming at the end, and one of my really good friends is coming in February.
I miss-
Oh.
I miss
Yeah,
Queenie.
she's already asked me to go out clubbing 3 times, and I'm like,
You have to go.
You have to go.
I'm gonna go. I finished my essays, and I'm like,
Like freedom. Now all I do is D&D and BL and club. Who wants anything other than that? Where's my blue dice? Oh, there.
I know, I don't know why you say it like it's shameful.
No. Wait, because I still have the one that you gave me. Which is what I figured out. That thing fell out of. So anyway, this is a sidetrack. Anyway, shall we roll for recap?
Oh boy.
Yes. So I find a pen.
Ooh, nat 20.
20 as well.
What?
So I rolled 7, so the closest to 7. 3, 1. It's
Lily.
Lily.
There goes my luck for the entire game. Rip.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
That's the 120 you had in stock and it's gone.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. So, if I can read my writing. Last session, yeah. We managed to sort out the deal with the illegal teleportation and the gnome, thankfully. No one went to jail, it was pretty good. Then we kind of just realised we had one day to spend in
I just realized this won't be muted
Ironstone,
anything.
and everyone kind of did their own various things. So Astra Bluey went to visit first Astra's mother at the tavern. Was it the something Bachelor?
The
Merciful.
That's just my memory. Yeah. Did that. Then they went to see Astra's girlfriend Ferenia. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Had a good time. Came back to the tavern. And Cass and Neff went to Sobek's shop. Cass was eyeing up the Pearl of Power, but still can't afford it. Unfortunately, they were there to buy Ender a birthday present, which was very expensive. And Brian went to Loran's shop to apologize. Thankfully, was mostly forgiven, I think, and gave some money to Cass to buy Ender some glasses. And the end of the game was Cass having a very exciting tavern brawl.
Hell yes, we love a brawl. Can I just ask one question? The ones you went for were the glasses of true sight or the glasses of intellect? Because the glasses of intellect were more expensive.
Yeah, we went for the glasses of true sight.
Cool.
Because we can't afford the other ones.
Yeah, and he probably doesn't need intellect to be honest.
Nice,
Nah.
smart boy. Okay. So, I believe where we left off, there was a drunken crying Neff and a not beaten yet probably tired from all the fighting Cass. Outside.
We made it back. I think
You made it back. Okay.
I think we went to Merciful Bachelor.
Okay. As you two, still in those two states, walk into the Merciful Bachelor. This is the first time you're entering the establishment, I think. So, when you go in, you see this sort of large, mostly wooden, quite inviting-looking tavern. It's not as busy as maybe the sort of welcoming nature would lead you to expect. There is a sort of maisonette level, like a landing, which you can see has a few doors you assume are rooms people can sleep in. Behind the bar is a friendly-looking man who greets you with a smile and says, "Welcome, travelers. How can I help you?" And as he calls that out, you see heads on a table turn around, and it is the remainder of your party minus All-Star, I believe.
Hello. Oh, hello.
I'm just wobbling around.
I kind of say, "Oh, we're with them," and then I go and take.
They mentioned before they had more friends, so it's okay. Go and take a seat, and we'll bring some refreshments right over for you.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh,
maybe
refreshments.
just water for my friend. She's struggling a little bit.
Water and
Absinthe.
So,
No.
I do see, it does not escape my attention, that you are inebriated. Please, just do me one big favour. Just walk to me.
To
Go on, Neff.
which one of you?
Good.
The one
you
on
can
the
have
left?
water. You can have water then, my friend. He brings you over 2 large glasses of water, sets them down.
Oh, I'll have a strong 0 if it's going.
We have the strongest zeros outside of the 0. So
I will take one of them, please.
Okay. Just mark off 3 copper. 3 copper for the drink.
Where's my money?
Water is free. So, as you settle in, Bluey, Astra, Neff, and Cass around the table. A few more travelers enter. Just behind you, one of whom you recognize immediately as Kaylee, the halfling with freckles and like hair pulled back in a rough ponytail. She appears to have treated herself to clothes which aren't destroyed, and looks pretty happy as walking in. She is flanked by then the gruesomely disfigured Volmir. And I've forgotten who else is coming to this party. That's good. And wait, there's one more. Oh wait, never mind, there isn't. We're good. The drow children are taken care of. Just by Volmir. A strange mix of people they appear to have met on the way and are chatting animatedly. And Anna is frozen. Oh no, she's fine. And when they see you, they wave and they come and they sit down. Fulmir doesn't wave. He just kind of like.
Astra's gonna pat the chair next to her.
He kind of looks at it. He sits, and he just like. I've never been anywhere like this before.
Oh,
Who did we lose?
Ooh.
Anna.
Anna.
Okay, well.
Where did Bluey go? There's Bluey.
She back. Okay, we're good. Can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Okay. He just is like, I've never been anywhere like this before. I've never. Also, I heard we were going on a ship. I've never been on a boat. I'm a bit scared.
I slide over my very strong 0 and say, "Have a sip of that, and it should calm your nerves."
Oh, I do not. I cannot partake. It was drilled out of me at a young age.
I slide it back towards me and go, "Oh, okay." Well, this has really brought down the mood of the table.
Neff is
That's
just like
okay.
staring at her glass.
You know what? People tell me
trying
that
to
a lot.
grab it.
Before we
Neff.
continue, I might just say to the group, say, Neff is feeling a little, if you're up for it, Neff, a little bit more healing would be great.
Sure thing.
Or
She
Astra,
just, like, thinks
if
for a
you
bit.
can
Yeah,
do
I got
something.
that. Yeah. How much? How bad are you feeling on a scale?
I
of...
mean,
Neff
on a
falls
scale
over in a
of my
chair.
max to my minimum, I am much closer to my minimum.
feel that.
I'm a 28 in metagaming terms. As it goes for Cash, the friendly tavern brawl that I incited turned a lot less friendly very quick. So,
Well, let's go ahead and take. Let me do some quick maths here.
just because I never know what DM Emma is going to throw into the mix. So while I'm low,
Never? No. What's gonna happen?
let's boost me up.
Hit or miss? You don't even know what's gonna hit you. I don't know what's going on in my life, guys.
Go ahead and take back 29 points of healing.
Oh,
Drunk.
that is very nice. Why, thank you very much, Astra.
Yeah, I just blew a 5th level healing spell. Hell yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
We're hanging out. I'm not gonna
Yeah, it'll be fine.
over the big stuff. Also, if Neff looks particularly distraught,
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. I mean, Neff isn't too bad. She's just like wobbling a bit, but she's there. She's in the moment.
very very subtly, Astra's just gonna kind of slip her tail around to like Neff and cast Lesser Restoration to remove the alcohol from her system.
Ooh, wait, can you do that? That's
You
crazy.
fixed. Yes, you can.
Because
You
it's
are
poison.
exactly, yeah.
Oof.
So you are clear of mind
Neff just
and
blinks.
aware of your surroundings at last.
As much as Neff can ever be aware.
Oh, my vision is
yeah.
back.
So I don't know who got my Snapchat this morning, but basically it was my cat and she was going crazy. And the first thing that popped into my head was, this is Neff energy. Like, real. Hang on, I've got to save the video. I need to show you.
I think I saw it sent.
Yeah, but sadly I have neither Aelin nor Anna on. Can you see that? Okay, that's my cat.
Sorry, I'm gonna try and do voice. Oh,
I'll just
Neff!
I'll
Wait, it gets better.
I'll be right back.
Oh no, I think it's done. Never mind.
Neff
Sad.
energy. I love it.
But just like the way she like turned around was so funny. She basically just does that every morning. She just runs around my room like, ah! So,
It's adorable.
precious.
Oh,
Anna, you
Anna,
okay?
what's going on with your stuff? You alright?
Hello.
Bluey!
We can
Anna?
hear you. We can hear you.
Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Ooh.
Look at us all just like waiting.
Be and will you be upright? That's more
okay,
important.
that's-
What?
Oh no.
That's okay.
Oh.
That's okay. We
That's
can work with
interesting.
it. Are you on your phone?
What happens when you stream from the equator?
Oh, that's better.
Hell yeah, that's better. Okay, you good? That's perfect for us. So if it's good
Wow,
for you,
4x3, retro. I like it.
hells yeah. Okay, so back to where we were. You are sitting at the table and you've just cast Lesser Restoration. So,
Actually, I guess I'll turn to Kaz as well and ask how she's feeling at this point, health-wise.
I'm now like up to a decent amount of points, so it's okay. I mean, what time is it? Is it nighttime?
yeah, it's getting into the evening.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be hopefully sleeping soon. Touch wood. Not that we ever know what Taz in store. Looks at Emma.
Well,
So
I'll regain my
I should-
slots anyway, so it probably doesn't matter too much.
Yeah,
Or Cass, you can spend hit dice if you want to fill up the rest.
I don't mind. I'm at 57 now. I'm cool.
So, as you all are
But
sitting,
thank you, Neff.
as you all are sitting at your table, and a sort of a larger group who are sitting on the far end, kind of get up, and there's like one really enthusiastic one who's like waving like a contract, it's like, let's go on our adventure, and they're all like, yeah, and they rush off, and you feel like you've seen the beginning of a different campaign.
Good luck, guys. It may start out all roses, but it gets worse.
The waitress that was tending to their table goes back behind the bar carrying a whole tray of plates and I was about to say goblets. It's a this dark purple skinned, quite regal looking woman with like pupilless eyes, and like kind of what looks like long, very well kept hair, but it's pulled back into a bun, with an apron on. And she occasionally is glancing over the table and like kind of just like looking around at all of you, particularly at Astra. And once she's settled all the dishes, put them all away, she comes back over towards you all, and she puts a hand on your shoulder, Astra, and she says, "Are these the rest of your friends then?" "Hello."
-1. But yeah.
-1.
And plus another. And I'm gonna point to Volmir.
And she looks at him. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
sorry." And he's like, "Don't worry, I get it a lot." And he's like looking at her like, and his cheeks just kind of turn a deeper shade of purple. And she's like, "It's okay. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time." And she turns to you and she says, "So, how do you know my Astra?" Anyone with a high insight can put together this is Astra's mother.
Well, we've been on quite a lot of adventures together. You've got a very kind daughter. She has done lots to save us.
I'm glad to hear. Sorry? I missed what you said,
Anna?
Bluey. Anna. We can hear you.
Bluey!
No.
She's falling into the
Oh,
void!
no.
If you turn off your camera, but leave your sound on, it might work better. Why is the Wi-Fi so bad?
Bluey!
No.
Bluey's just frozen in place in the bar.
She's trapped in limbo.
Yeah.
Bluey! No! Don't go into the light.
Okay, I think we should. Hang on.
Discreetly, but it wasn't discreet, so.
Okay, well we can hear you. We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just have your camera off for a little while, and then we can try it again later and see if it works. Or
Okay.
just turn it on when you feel like you really need it. Okay. So, she pats to an empty chair opposite Astra and she says, "Is this one taken?"
By all means, please sit.
And she sits, and as she does, she kind of lets out a sigh and kind of massages her ankle. And you get the impression she's been on her feet all day. And she says, "So please tell me everything about your adventures. I've missed out on a fair amount being here. I've heard a little bit from Astra, but so you all are Travelers.
I'm Cass, and I extend my hand because I don't feel like we've actually been introduced.
She offers you her palm. It was like charmed, I'm sure.
Ah.
I'm getting royal vibes. I'm quite clued up in my royals now. I don't think that was Georgia.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you say that out loud, she was, yeah.
No, that was Georgia. That was not Cass.
For sure.
So what was her name?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's usually what people tell you when they...
I'm Cass. Charmed.
Hi, Charmed. I'm Neff.
I want to make a character called Charmed now. It's cute.
That's actually not a bad name.
I'm Janzia.
Okay.
How do you spell that?
Sure you.
Neff queries.
Oh, interesting question.
Astra.
Can you write Elvish?
No. I
Cool.
can't.
So I think the equivalent would be JHANSZIA.
Ah,
Right? Right?
Chanzia.
In fact,
How do you pronounce that again?
Okay, cool. Shanzia.
Chanzia.
Shanzia.
Shanzia.
Yes.
Janzia.
That's brilliant. Yes, thank you.
Neff just turned a deep shade of purple. Sipping on
There's
her
a lot
water.
of purple blushing going on over at this time.
and all the while, Astra's just gotten out her knitting and is just heck out of it.
What are you knitting, Astra?
Let's say you can see the beginnings of something that is red in the works.
Oh, is that what you reply to Cass when she says that? You can see beginnings of red. I'm sensing a theme with this family.
We know how to respond in social situations.
No, what she actually says is, it's just a present for someone.
Oh, very nice.
I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. You are looking over towards you, Neff.
Oh, the name's Neff. She almost said Charmed, but she said Neff. And she sticks out her hand like really straight.
She's kind of the same as she did before with Cass. And you would be, and then Kaylee pops up. I'm Kaylee. It's pleased to meet you. I'm pleased to meet you. You're really pretty. Excuse me. Hi. And she says yes. I am.
Yes.
That's a strange conversation.
Okay, I now slide over my strong zero to Kaylee.
She's like, she chugs it, and she's okay, but on the brink. Kaylee then turns to Thulmir and pulls him into a very long conversation about how he got his scars, which he's very awkward about, and says nothing except she talks too much and too often. With them distracted, Astra knitting, and you all kind of just meeting each other first time and greeting each other. Bluey is there as well. What's your name? Sorry, your camera's off, so I completely forgot.
I've met Shansia
Oh, you have?
previously.
You know what? I'm doing real
No,
good.
Not to fear.
Shansia says, "Oh, if it's difficult for the connection, you don't have to turn it on." But yeah, she says, "And good to meet you again, Chloe." But Astra, I believe we did say we'd have a bit more of a conversation. And she looks around to the other five, and she says, "Whether or not you want to have this conversation in the presence of your guests, your friends, your adventuring party, I believe that'd be up to you."
We could have it in front of them, just perhaps maybe in some more private setting.
I thought that as well. Let's go upstairs, potentially. And Kaylee turns and she's like, "I'm fine down here, actually. I mean, I'm going to drink some more, and I think I can convince this one to do it, too." And she points to Thulmir, and he's like,
I'm gonna grab Fulmir and
He's
Jacob.
like his eyes are screaming for help. So with the four of you,
Can I stay down there
plus
and drink with
Fulmir.
Keely instead?
Yeah, you sure can. You can. So Neth stays down and drinks with Kaylee. Cass and Blue, are you coming up as well?
I'm coming up because my resolution was to get to know my party members better.
Hell yes.
Off I go.
Okay.
I would say before we go up, I will spend some coin to get Cass some more alcohol.
Okay, cool. You are, depending on how, you can drink as much as you're willing to spill out for that. I'll tell Cass. You tell Cass. How much that would be.
Go nuts.
Go nuts. Great, cool. So, with no less than 10 cans of Strong Zero brought up to you, tankards, I should say.
Tankers.
You settle into one of the rooms, and it's a small, fairly small wooden room with 2 single beds. In it, it's warm because the barkeep has been mindful enough to light a fire in preparation for you all. But the lights kind of cast dark shadows in the corners. It's a little bit eerie, almost, especially seeing as it's getting into nighttime. Right. And Fulmir seems to sort of like sink into the shadows a bit and just sits in a corner. The rest of you take places around the room. Janzia pulls up a what looks like a cushion that's meant for sitting and puts it in front of the fire and sits and pats a cushion next to her. And she turns to you, Astra, and she says, "You remember our conversation earlier, yes?
I do.
And you remember then I mentioned that I contacted my sister."
To be honest, I really didn't realize that you had sisters or sister
I'm sorry,
up
It's-
until I had a strange vision.
tell me about it, please. I think you might have mentioned it before, but refresh my memory.
Well, and Cass and Bluey wouldn't actually know this, but so during we had a trial for an organization, and I saw you, and then it was strange. You turned into a wolf, and then I saw a strange ritual with you and I want to say 5 other women that looked similar, and a blackened tree, and there was the sound of a child crying and spiders, and it was very...
I know what you're referring to. The wolf. I guess I should start there. I don't know. The only thing I can think is, this is before you were born. You probably not even remember it, but when we left the Underdark, there was a time where I was lost in the woods and I thought we were goners. But I saw an animal. Well, it could have been a wolf. It was certainly that size. And I didn't know why, but you would stop crying when it came near. And I got the urge to just follow it. And it led me to Ganarok, the town. But that is the only encounter I've ever had with such an animal. Since then, I've just been working, so fairly rural, but not rural enough that there'd be wild animals running around. I'm sorry, that probably doesn't answer many of your questions there. But then the rituals. And she kind of avoids your gaze. Seems saddened or ashamed, you can't tell. One of the two. The Underdark is a dangerous place. And those who live there live their lives differently from us above. We are desensitized to violence, we are taught violent principles, and that so many things are necessary to prove our loyalty, especially to Lolth. Have you heard this before?
A little bit, and then kind of gesture back at Volmir.
And he's kind of like sinking into the shadows a bit more. And she says, I've tried to shield you from it. But I suppose I knew it was only a matter of time before you'd figure something out. Didn't expect it to be a vision, but you've always been special in that way. You've seen things that other people couldn't. Been touched by divine magic, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is the Underdark is dangerous. And it's very easy, even for good people, to be pulled into evil. My sisters, you are right, were very high up in the Church of Lolth. They were, or they are, I'm not sure entirely how many of them are still alive. They were dedicated to her. They gave everything. Even their children. That child you heard crying before. He was your nephew. But he was deemed to have a higher purpose, one which he could not fulfill so long as he lived. I'm sorry. I didn't understand what they meant. When they said that at first, I was confused, and I went along with it. And then I saw what they did. And I knew it was only a matter of time before they turned to me. I was with child at the time. I had you. And so, for that reason and for others, we had to leave. I'm sorry. I feel like I should have told you this before, but I didn't know how. Because you're so different from them, you're not evil. You could never do anything like this. But I was scared that if you found out, then I don't know what you'd think of me or yourself.
I'm just glad we don't live there.
So am I. I'm so glad we've got our life now here. And these visions, I don't know why you're happy, but if there was this trial you speak of, then perhaps they were trying to make sure that you weren't like them, or you didn't fall into the same traps that my sisters fell into. I don't know, though. You can't say for sure. You did have a sister who was... A sister, sorry. An aunt. That must have been like a moment. You did have an aunt who was particularly enthralled by Lolth. Sinestre. You may have heard the name before. She is who I tried to contact because I believe that if any of them were still alive, it would be her. She's a survivor. But a contact, someone I knew before, told me that she hasn't been heard from in many years. She, apparently had been consumed by the search of this lost relic, which has caused drow cities all over the world to send scouts to the surface world in order to recover it. And she was sent, along with 2 others, I believe, topside, years ago, I don't know how long. Has not been back since. No one has heard from her.
During all of this, I kind of want to be kind of looking out of the corner of my eye over at Thulmir, see if he has any reaction to anything being said.
Make an insight check.
Passive insight or just insight? You cut out. Moichiro.
Hey, what's your passive insight?
17.
Okay, well, I'll go with it. Sure. As you look at him, he's kind of... His eyes are wide and he's fixed on looking at your mother. And if you were to sneak a glance at him when she mentioned this lost relic, you would see he kind of takes in a really sharp breath. And he's very fixated on the conversation.
Okay.
But that's about as much as you can read him, I'd say. If you want anything more than that, you would probably have to roll for it.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say I think my passive is higher than what I just rolled.
yeah, so it's gonna be that's.
Oh, it's identical.
Which, oh, well, it's still fine.
Yeah.
You probably still have a lot of questions, and I'm here to talk. So, if there's anything more you want to know, I'll try and answer.
I think you've actually provided me with everything I need. As
Well,
always.
then, I do my best. I'm sorry again that I didn't tell you anything before, but
You had reason.
make an insight check, Astra.
Oh, much better. I do need the calculator for that one, though.
Gosh, how high?
I rolled a 19 and my bonus is 7, so 26.
Yeah. So there's something... You can tell she's debating in her mind if there's something she should or shouldn't tell you about.
Is there something else?
I've wanted potentially to say something, but I don't know how much to say or what to say. This is going to sound a bit strange, as I've never really brought him up before. You are aware that your father left us a long time ago.
I mean, it wasn't a forever deal.
That's true. Or at least, that's what I told you.
Oh.
I kind of heard like Bluey in the corner. I feel like that's canon. He came to the Underdark because he was guided by this higher calling. I didn't really understand it. And I'm not entirely sure myself, but I believe that his higher calling led him to this relic. At least he certainly knew of it. And the night that we left the Underdark was, to the best of my knowledge, the night that the manhunt for this began. And he refused to tell me pretty much anything about it, to keep us safe, I believe. Except one thing. And if you are interested or have any inclination to find out more, there is a man named Slyan'ssun who apparently had what's the word I'm looking for? Had interfaced with this relic before, had encountered it.
Did he survive the encounter?
Yes, I believe they were friends. But I have not heard from either of them. I never met this other man except for in one letter someone told me that, well, your father had been spotted with him, as far as I know. I stayed out of it to keep you safe.
Thank you for telling me.
It's okay. I felt like you had to know.
As they say, knowledge is power.
It's true. You've always been a wise one. Even if that wisdom was implemented in unique ways. And she kind of like leans over and like puts her hand on your shoulder and just like gives you like a comforting squeeze.
Astra just pulls her into a hug.
And she hugs back. And she turns to Cass and to Bluey.
Out of game.
Tholmir. Yep.
Sorry, before we, because
Go for
I
it.
wasn't here for the one with Tholmir on the cart. So what do we know about him? Because I kind of wasn't there for any of that.
Tholmir is, or was, a drow Shadowblade who had been chosen to fight in the Demon Web Pits. Along with, you believe he was his brother. They both knew they probably wouldn't make it, so they escaped the Underdark. He had, at one point, and you don't know whether he still has this power or not, no one's tested it, a pretty fucking strong sword, which almost killed Bluey.
Oh no, I've got the sword in my bag.
Cool. He doesn't know that. He threw it to the ground.
Saying that brought about the alignment question of
yeah,
because I could pick it up.
Yeah. So yeah, you would have noticed as well when Cass, it was basically just a hilt.
Right.
And when you picked it up, nothing happened. When Astra took it, it shooed into like a shadowy long fucking sword. So no one's attuned to it, and no one's tried to. So you don't know how or what the effects of it are. But that's essentially Fulmir's deal. He was part of like a brigade of bandits, and they attacked you on the way out of the forest.
Okay, and then so he got here because Lily put him under S and was like, run away. And how did he get here?
So he told you his story about the demon web pits and about
Yeah.
how he hated Lolth and how he wanted to be free. And he
Lolth,
wanted
his
to be...
brother.
No, Lolth is the demon queen of the Drow.
Oh,
She's a
okay.
god.
Right.
And she's like, the whole thing with the Drow is they pledge, regardless, male or female, regardless of rank, they pledge undying loyalty to her.
Right.
And she is like their everything. Yeah. So he was disillusioned, ran away, was probably going to be killed, and you guys found his story sympathetic, so you gave him a chance to be free and let him come back. And Astra offered to let him live with Farinia and work in the forge and earn a decent living, and so
Okay.
he took it. So yeah,
All right.
he's
Cool.
on the mend as far as you know.
I now understand, because I was just a bit like, it's like I recognize the name Filmer, but I can't quite remember what was going on, and that was because I wasn't there for all of his backstory. So now
It's
get
okay,
it.
don't worry. Yeah. And actually, at that point, Janzia turns to the three of you, and she says, "This might be a lot for you to process, and you probably don't completely understand it. I don't know how much Astra has relayed to you in terms of our family history, but
as of today, they just learned that I wasn't just a tiefling.
oh, good.
Except for the one who's not here. He's known
Okay.
all along.
So I am a Drow, and so is half of Astra, and her father was a tiefling, and we are now here. I'm good at explaining things on the fly. She's kind of like, I feel like she just doesn't really understand of the concept of people not realizing you're a drow, because in her mind, like, the drow stands out so much. But there's like a sort of like a relief on her face, like, oh, she's had a better time because she can just pass the tiefling. But says thank you for listening and for always looking after Bluey. Not Bluey, Astra.
I am blue.
You are Bluey.
I like Astra's looked after us more than we've had to look after her.
Sounds like her. And she just kind of stares into the fire for a moment, and as she does, she kind of like glances over at Tholmir and catches his eye. And she says, I won't lie. I'm suspicious of you. And he's like, I've changed.
And if he was up to any, bullshit, as we say,
I trust you could take him down.
oh, he's been living with Farinia. So
I won't question your decisions. I won't question your decisions. And she seems like she was about to say something else and decides not to.
I mean, she's small, but she can handle herself and anybody else.
That's true. That's very true. I should pay her a visit. I haven't seen her in some time. She kind of like stands up and like kind of adjusts her skirts, and she picks it up before you guys, but downstairs you hear the sounds of the door swinging open and closed, animated voices entering the tavern, and she says, I believe I'm needed downstairs. If there's anything else, then come find me. And she gives you one last hug. And she exits the room.
I turn to Astra and go, wow, that was quite a story. How are you holding up?
Well, having seen what she depicted firsthand a couple of months ago, it wasn't too big of a shock. But hearing it is still... I'm all right. I'm all right. And I'm gonna just slide over one of the tankers of ale that made it upstairs and partake a little bit.
I raise my 6th strong zero tankard to like kind of cheers with you.
Like, cheers.
Yeah. To the assisters.
Volmir says, "What's an assister?"
We are. And
Oh.
I just gesture.
Oh, okay. Cheers.
Does he have a tankard for reals?
I'll just slide him a strong
He's-
zero.
Got his water skin. It's not
Oh
a
god,
tank.
we've already established that he doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not gonna peer pressure.
It's okay. No, he wouldn't. But he does kind of dribble a little bit because his mouth is just torn a bit too far back. It's kind of sad. But he seems used to it. And he turns to you, Astra, and he says, if your mum's really seen that relic, then I really hope no one finds out about it.
I send a message to Astra, so only she can hear, and I say, do you think this relic is another beacon of resurgence?
I think it might be. I'm replying in
Yeah,
my head.
it's reply, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I said another one saying, do you think we should tell Sobek about it? Also, I'll relay this to Bluey, because I don't want Bluey to just be sat there like...
Like, I'm blue, da boo dee da.
Exactly. But,
I feel
so
like
Bluey,
that's
you're being kept in the loop. Oh, she's frozen.
it's like, I think she can still hear us.
I don't know if we should tell him until we actually have more knowledge of it, but if it is, definitely.
Cool. And then Thorma's probably not even noticed that we've kind of gone silent and looking at each
No.
other intensely. He's probably just like, this is just average.
Yeah, this is kind of what he expects from social situations.
Yes.
And then I'm going to kind of turn back to him and ask, so what do you know of the relic?
Oh, I mean, what don't I know? I'm useful for some things.
You're more than just... You're a joy to be around.
Roll deception.
Yeah, roll deception. Roll. Are you being honest? Do you find him a joy to be around?
Astra's being sweet. She's not really trying to lie.
Hey,
She's
he's
just-
gonna roll insight. He believes you. He's playing into it. He's like, ah, no one's ever told me that before.
Well, guess what? For winter candles nights, I don't know what winter colors are in this thing. I'm just gonna call it
we
candle
don't
night.
really. There isn't really have one. Let's call it candle nights.
You're gonna get a sweater this year. Man.
Never gotten a present before.
Oh my god, this is just getting so sad.
He kind of like looks genuinely happy.
You know what?
Like,
You're also
offering
getting socks because I think your feetsies need warming.
What are socks?
Exactly.
You look at his feet. He's just got like bits. Well, actually, no. He's been with Phrynia.
Okay,
He's got proper boots on. But
even
before,
Cass
he
is
had
like,
bits of felt tied to him.
even though Cass was originally like, bloody hell, this guy's boring, she's like now feeling very sorry for him and takes like a flower and like passes it to him.
He kind of puts it. He like goes to put it on like his nice side, and then he like looks at it and he's like puts it on his like disfigured side.
And I'll be like, and that will last forever. Because it's magic.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh
That's crazy.
my god.
But this, sorry, this relic, yeah. It's called the Tome of Absolution. I mean, if not all the high-ranking Drow or Shadowblades, most of them know about it. It's a kind of book. If you're an acolyte of Lolth, then you are taught to read it from a certain age and taught the secrets of it. I wasn't ever given the privilege. It's reserved for women only. But the book is apparently a key of some kind through which you can communicate with Lolth directly. And there are even whispers that you could summon her through it. Its use is prohibited because it's seen as a sort of crime, I suppose, to disturb her. She is a god after all. But there are some, I believe, who would want that power for themselves. The Drow understand they don't want to use it. They just want it back. It's part of their heritage. It's part of what makes their culture theirs. They want it not for power, but for symbolic value, if that makes sense.
And what do you know about how it went missing or got taken or?
Only that it was a stroke of luck after a stroke of luck that whoever found it managed to take it.
Was it not kept well guarded?
It was very well guarded. How anyone could have taken it, I do not know, but all we know is it was missing one night. And if that's the night that you also fled, then I can tell you it was decades ago, and since then the search has been on.
Cats kind of want to talk. Do we? I ask Astra. Do you have any more questions for Thormir?
Not questions so much, just I have a feeling I know who stole it.
Yeah, me too.
Who?
Oh, no, this is in Mindspeak.
Oh, right, okay.
But I think we want to discuss it. My point is I want to discuss it potentially without Thormir in the room. Because as much as we trust... This is our character now. As much as we trust him, he nabbed at one of the assistants.
That's true, and I'd like to have Brian's insight on this as well.
Shall we... this is in Mindspeak. Shall we discuss it further when we're all together?
That sounds good.
Cool. Bluey, I don't know if you can hear me, Anna, but you're clued in with all of this as well.
I'd like to like startled say something out loud and be like, oh wait, hang on. Wait, yes?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you.
Alright. So should we I don't know, should we all like pretend we're asleep tonight and just like mind speak or actually like go
we're
over
just like informing you while we're like having convos right now, but I think we're just gonna like hold off now and then we'll discuss it like out loud when we're all back together, like with Neff and Brian as well.
Okay. But mind speak's so cool. I can think and it's okay, right? And then Bluey stops.
Yeah.
I think that Thormir sees like this sort of cold sweat break out on your forehead as you're talking. He's like, "Are you ill?"
No, sorry, I'm just
I just naturally blew.
Okay.
WDW.
Sorry,
song of
I
my
can't
people.
stop it.
Shall we go back downstairs then and see what the hell Neff's getting up to and hope that her and Keely aren't completely blind drunk?
Should I roll Constitution?
So I was about to say, as we leave that scene, downstairs, Kaylee turns to you and she says, "Right, arm wrestle."
Arm wrestle. I don't know how drunk I am.
Cool. Drunk. And she puts her arm up.
How drunk is Neff now that Neff has been restored?
I should.
Yeah, but she started back again.
You started again. Make a quick Constitution check for me.
All right.
Yeah, because you don't know. I don't know how much you've drunk.
That is 16.
16. You're feeling all right. But
Surprisingly.
you're up for stuff. You're up for things, like an arm wrestle. And Kaylee is like teeth bared, like ha.
And Neff tries to imitate her. Ha!
Okay, she grabs your hand and immediately begins pushing down. Right, what way an arm wrestle? The way an arm wrestle works is you roll a d20,
Yeah.
and it's like and you add your strength, and it's basically like strength checks.
Ooh, okay. We're gonna be taking away 1 point from that roll.
Okay, so roll your d20. She's pushing against your arm.
That's an 8.
An 8. Good. Hang on, let me put on the roll initiative playlist.
Good. That is not good.
You feel as your arm begins to bend towards your side of the table as she overpowers you, and she's like, ah! Her eyes like looking in 2 different directions. She's like almost blind drunk, and she's like, "Ha! There's more of that. There's more where the nerve came from." And she's.
I don't speak that dialect.
Right, you need to roll again.
This is for the strength check?
Yep.
7.
7.
Losing power.
You actually, she rolled real bad. Managed to push her back to the center, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
This was like the weakest arm wrestle ever.
Neff is
Yeah,
like
no one is
visibly
impressed.
tearing up.
Katie is recently coming off of being diseased and emaciated, and yet still.
Just barely enough of a handicap against almost sober Neff.
Yeah. And she, with one hand, with her other hand, chugs back more alcohol and begins pushing again. You need to make another strength.
I'd like to try my arm at these
No,
wimps.
that's an unnatural 1.
Oh! I think what happens is she pushes, like, that alcohol that she had gives her the burst of energy she needs to, like, push you right down, and you're, like, hovering just above the table, like, ah!
Neff.
Oh yeah, are we back in the room now?
I think you're just coming down the stairs and seeing the tail end of this.
I'm gonna go
Alright.
behind Kaylee, be like, Kaylee.
Neff is
So,
almost crying.
Neff, roll really well.
So Astra's cheering back and forth between the two of them.
Kaylee!
The true team.
Neff,
No,
roll.
But
Ref.
Cass is cheering, but a little bit like, oh god.
Neff, roll real good.
I'll try to roll the realest, goodest roll I've ever rolled.
Okay.
15.
Hey.
17!
Aww.
Slams the back of your hand down on the table with like a crack.
Neff falls
Which
off the chair.
You realise the crack is more of like a slap, and it's less of like a strong push down than just like a.
It's just really weak.
Ugh!
Ugh.
Yeah, and you fall off. You're thrown like skillful.
Neff feels like her whole body's been thrown off the chair, like smashed from the outside.
You know
This looks
that
totally
gif
pathetic.
of Squidward where he's like falling like beautifully, but he just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been thrown off the throne of arm wrestle.
And she's like, "I'm the best!" And
My life has been a lie.
stands on the table, drinks 2 strongies, and pours one over you. Like, open your mouth!
Neff is just like sobbing at this point.
Not again.
This is so sad.
Oh.
People are actually, as opposed to when Cass had her arm wrestle with Boba all those months ago, people are actually actively avoiding you both.
Oh.
Neff, how drunk are you?
Should we constitution check?
You can do Constitution saving throw if you think you're drunk enough to.
Oh, my dice fell off the thing. Should I roll again? Or should I
Maybe you
just, should I
are
just take
drunk,
the roll that was
Neff.
on the ground?
Mm.
Because if I take my ground throw, then I have 12.
I don't think we can take the ground throw.
All right,
I
let's
think
go.
we
We're
have-
going. We're going again. 10. Wait, no, +2. 14. Other way around.
What?
Wait, what? What? Is anyone else a little bit confused as to how that happened?
10 plus 2 is 12.
I rolled 12, and my modifier is 2, so I subtracted 2 by accident instead of adding it the first
Oh,
time
okay,
round.
okay, okay. I see what you're saying.
I'm sorry, I did a net.
You're not inebriated. Strong Zero and Absinthe have different, like, you know, strengths. You know this. But you're making enough of the scene that you wonder whether the barkeeper's going to sell you anything else. And Astra, after like a moment, you see your mum come out from behind the bar, and she's watching this, and she's like, looks at Neff, looks up at you, and in her eyes you see, why? She nods, and she's just kind of like, okay, this is the person my daughter is entrusting her life and health to.
That was A+ line delivery, huh?
Thank you.
Why?
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 Cass turns to Bluey and says, I don't know if this is the time, but at some point we have to have an arm wrestle.
Oh my gosh. Now? Please.
Going to
Seeing
go out
these
of game.
wimps.
Going out of game to DM Emma. How much do we need to get done today?
Oh, it depends how long how many sessions can we spend in one day? That's the real question.
Isn't it like at nighttime at this point? What time is it?
It's very late. It's like midnight. We've been on
okay.
this day for
Very
about
late.
3 sessions, so let's go to sleep.
Yeah. We'll
And
do it.
let's-
We'll do it at some point, Bluey. I promise.
Let me go and close my door.
Shake
because
on
everyone's
it?
been hearing me screaming recently, so I'll be 1 second.
What did you say? Sorry.
Closing her door.
Will you shake on it?
Oh, 100%. And then I feel like that in our shake, we both kind of like preemptively do a little bit of an arm wrestle with our shake.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm very excited. Rain, check on arm wrestle.
Okay.
We can arm wrestle. All right, are we going on the?
Yes.
If you want to talk about
Oh.
what your plans are. So,
Anyway.
as you all settle in, you take whichever rooms you feel are perfect for you. All-Star! Hey, you're here too. So, you are asleep. Where you are asleep, I'm not going to dictate for you. But I assume you're in
In some loving arms.
Saran's bedroom. Good. Okay, because this is. It sounds like a strange
I
question.
didn't know a bedroom could have arms.
He's called
The
Hans
loving-
for a reason.
We need to stop with the hand thing.
Oh.
Every time I hear it, I'm like,
No! I hate what I've created. Okay. I wonder if this is how God looks down on us now. Like, what have I done?
I hate what I created.
Can exist proves that we are a disappointment to him. Anyway, so nighttime, dark, you're asleep. Until what's your passive
Or are
perception
you?
again?
Oh, me?
Right,
18.
you're in the process of doing whatever you would be doing at this time of night. 18. Right. Downstairs, the shop is closed, and because you're on that kind of open level, you can just about see into the shop, but there is like a sort of like a curtain that's like blocking off like the ladder where you climb down to get to the main shop floor.
Mhm.
But downstairs, you swear for a moment you hear like a bell or something jingling, and I think your instinct is to turn and see whether Loran heard it, but he is sound asleep and appears not to have.
Okay. I'll go down and see. But like very, very slowly. try and stealth.
You want to stealth down? Because you certainly can. Okay.
Not great at that, but we'll try.
That's fine. Let me just check what this. Let me just check one thing. Okay. Roll stealth.
Natural 20
Okay. What is your stealth bonus?
+1.
Okay. As you are going down, you're very, very, very quiet, and you feel, no one's going to notice that I'm here until you hear a voice say, "Oh, you're awake then. Hi, hello." And yeah, you got a natural 20, but they still knew you were there.
Okay.
It'll make sense. And you kind of like stop on the ladders and you turn and you see what can only be described as a sort of old and yet young, sort of short, grey-skinned and silver-haired humanoid figure. And they are carrying on their back what looks to be the largest pack you've ever seen, like a backpack, but it's got kind of more like a box sort of nature to it. And it is overflowing with trinkets and papers in languages that once you look closer at them, you cannot discern, and they seem to be shifting on the page constantly. They're holding this sort of like tall staff, and they are just sort of standing in the middle of the shop as if this is entirely normal. And one thing you notice as you're looking at them is the longer you stare into their eyes, which are pupilless and white, the brighter they seem to become. And they just kind of stand there and they say, "Hello, hi, yes, I would have called ahead, but I've been busy. I'm sorry. So shall we sort this out real quick, or do you have anything else you want to say? Or, because I've got a lot to do, but I have a little bit of time if you want to get to know each other. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe let's just sort this out." And they start rifling through their bag,
Who
and
are
they're
you?
constantly checking. Sorry. Yes, my name is Agathangelos. Some people call me Agatha, whichever you prefer. I don't have a preference. Oof, running out of time, aren't we? Hang on, let me just keep going through this bag. And they're kind of like rifling through the bag. And the paper is flying everywhere.
Brian is just very confused, just like, do I have any idea who this is?
No, you've never met this person before.
Do I know what they are?
You can ask.
That seems rude. I'll
Yeah.
probably do it.
They look humanoid, other
Okay.
than the fact that their eyes are just sort of like brighter and brighter and brighter the longer you look at them. As if they're like not empty, but like it's just bright. And they're like, "No, not this one." And they pull out this really long scroll of parchment and they keep pulling it out and it keeps unfurling and unfurling. And it seems to fill almost the entire room after a little while. And no, 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 no. What's your last name again? Game on?
Oh.
All Star. Yeah, that's you. Yes?
Yes, how did you know I was here?
I mean, I know everything. There you are. All Star Game On. So, I believe that you have a debt to settle with Sylvanus. Yes, the deity.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes.
That,
I believe somewhere in the region of 19,000 gold pieces. Is that correct?
perhaps. Does Sylvanus take credit?
Oh, no, you can pay up front or you can come with me to the court of Sylvanus to settle any disputes if you like.
I have 300 gold pieces right now.
Hang on a second. Let me just do some maths. That's not enough. So, okay, don't worry. We can figure something out, I'm sure. You owe 19,000. You have 300. That leaves 18,700 gold pieces. So we'll see about that. Do you intend to pay?
Yes, but I can't pay right now.
Okay. Well, then you can decide. We can either settle your debt via one-on-one combat, or you can... Don't roll your eyes, it's not that bad.
That was me, not Brian. I'm just like,
Or you can carry out tasks in the Tome of Penance, whose value equals 19,000 gold. The choice is yours.
I don't like fighting. What are the tasks I would have to carry out?
Oh, they differ. Killing, and then also building temples, and then also finding relics, and then also evangelism. There's a lot of options. You can pick and choose which ones you like.
I mean, finding relics seems to be in line with what I'm doing. If
Oh,
that's
okay. So you'd have to do many of those. This is a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? I didn't expect this to happen. What to do, what to do, what to do? Well, take the tome, and out of her bag, or their bag, they pull this huge book. It's the biggest book you've ever seen. And to them it feels paper light, and they pass it to you. And when you take it, it's like your arms like slam to the ground. You're so weak.
At least I don't have a negative modifier.
Yep.
Sorry, that was mean to me. I apologize.
For sure. Oh, what to do, what to do. This is a conundrum, isn't it?
I did not expect to be spending the night like that. It's just like,
Okay. So basically, what you need to do is you need to go through some of the tasks in this tome, and you can have a look now if you want to. For example, you can open to say this one, and there is a task that reads build a temple, and it's worth 400 gold pieces. And so you can like go and you can build something like this, and you can like follow the guidelines, and if you can make it look real cool, and you can add like trees.
It's Animal Crossing, just out of game.
Or
Sorry.
you can go and you can save the forest. Like that, for example, is a lot more, because it includes like like saving dryads and replanting trees, and that's like 2,000 gold pieces. Okay, we'll be watching you, just so you know, to make sure you're keeping on track with your debts. Can you actually just do one thing for me, please? And they turn around. And hang on a second. Let me just check I'm doing this right. Where are my 9th level spells? There we go. Okay. So they turn around and they kind of like wave their hand in the air, and this gate appears in the middle of the room, and it's a sort of tear in reality, and the white aura behind their eyes seems to match the glowing white aura of this gate. And Agathangalos turns to you and she says, would you just come with me real quick to the bureau, and we'll just sign some papers and you'll be on your way.
okay.
Okay, they take your hand and they pull you through this gate, and you step through, and you are walking on what appears to be solid bright white and something. It's like the atmosphere of the room is what's keeping you afloat, if that makes sense. Like there are no visible walls, there's no visible ceiling or floor. You're just walking through this bright white space, with Agathangalos like kind of confidently leading you in tow, and they're kind of like pulling. And then a speck in the distance begins to sort of grow larger and larger, and it's a desk, a literal bureau, made of sort of like dark, like earthy wood, with like these sort of like leaf patterns kind of engraved into it. And on it there is a single sheet of paper, a quill, and a pot of ink. And Agathangalos sort of takes off her pack and sets it down and sits behind the desk, puts on a pair of spectacles, and picks up the quill and says, So I already know your name, All-Star Game On, and writes it in a language that you don't understand. And then she says, you owe the debt of 19,000 gold to the deity Sylvanus, and will repay this via good deeds to the deity. And would you just sign here? And turns it around and offers you the quill.
He signs the paper.
Okay. That's one. And second is, you are in service till Sylvanus, the debt is paid. You may not use the reincarnation spell until the debt is prepaid. Sign here.
Oh.
Okay. Signs even more reluctantly.
This debt of servitude will be eradicated once the debt is fully paid off. Sign here.
He's just
Cool. And all of a sudden, two copies appear. Hands one to you in common, thankfully. He keeps one. Okay. And I believe we're all done. You can exit the way you came in, and you turn around, and it's just white.
I guess walk back the direction.
Okay, you kind of start walking, and then you feel a hand just kind of like turn you, and it's like, no, this way. You don't want to walk off the edge.
That doesn't sound good. Okay.
You see no edge. You're just walking.
Show me the exit, please.
Oh, but
Okay.
I've got so little time. It's just I've got so much to do. Look at all this paperwork, and you turn around, and there's all of a sudden a huge amount of paperwork that wasn't there before. Just look at all this paperwork, and I've got so many clients, and you turn around, and there's like 12 people like sitting and waiting in an angry line, like.
Please, just please.
Fine. And she clicks her fingers, or their fingers. Why am I doing this? I'm misgendering my own character. Clicks their fingers, and all of a sudden you are at the gate, and you're like as if you've been like zoomed there. Your hair is kind of like windswept behind you, and you're like, and you see Loran's shop.
Step back inside. Don't want to stay in the place.
Step back inside. The gate closes, and in your hand you still have the contract. You have a lot more in common with Cass now than you did before. And you can take that as a positive or a negative. It's up to you.
It's only a negative if you're bound in servitude.
Yeah. But
Unless it was, I was going to say by choice, but Cass did kind of willingly do it. So, yeah.
So, as you step back into the shop, it seems to be like an undisturbed night. And you are free to go back upstairs if you want to.
I think Brian's just going to sit down for a good hour. Just like, I don't want to be All-Star Game On anymore. Just has a moment.
Okay. If you're sitting in like the center of the shop, it's still okay. You can go up to where you know that the little lounge area is if you want. Okay, you go sit in that little lounge area, and you kind of like just like rock.
I think that's just how he's going to end up, to be honest.
Yeah. As you kind of walk into the room, just make an investigation.
Okay.
Or perception.
Oh, perception?
Yeah, let's go with that.
That is a 19.
19.
It's
Okay.
gonna be-
So, as you're walking in, you see Loran is still asleep. It seems to have been undisturbed by everything that happened. As you look towards where the lounge area is, you know there's that little chest on top of which is a strange, like kind of crystal-looking object which you've seen before, which is the crystal that Loran uses to look into his father's study. You see the study is empty. And it looks a bit different. There's something different about the room, but you can't quite tell what that is.
Can I... trying to decide if he would, like, pry, because I want to know, but I don't know if Brian would do that. No, he wouldn't. He's just gonna sit in the corner.
Okay. As you kind of like, your eyes kind of like glance over it. Like, weird, but
Yeah, he's clocked it, but you're not gonna.
And a voice from the bed sort of calls over to you. You noticed it too then?
Laran woke up.
And he's like, you look around and Laran's got his eyes open. He's just kind of like leaning up on one arm, and he nods over to the crystal on the chest of drawers.
Okay. I didn't look closely. Did
It's okay.
Okay.
A fresh pair of eyes might be what I need. I can't quite figure out, but there's something different. Yes.
Okay. Well then, Brian will go have a look.
Okay. Make an investigation check. Is it real bad or is it real good?
It's a 7. It's not great.
I think that is the lowest you've ever rolled in this game.
I've gotten. Okay, never mind. We're not going to this.
The more you look, the less you can tell. And Laran says to you, he says, "It's okay. It's late. Let's forget about it." And he kind of just lies back down.
Okay. Have I still got that big book, or is it just the contract?
Yeah, you have the book. The book you have, it's gotten
Mhm.
significantly lighter and smaller since you left. But yeah, as if it's now been reduced to pocket size for ease of access.
I guess now he knows Laran's awake, so he's gonna not sulk in the corner and go back to sleep.
Okay. As you go back to sleep, and Astra, as you settle in with the thoughts of all the revelations your mother said to you, an image comes into your mind of a night sky with this sort of aurora borealis shimmering over the horizon. And sitting in the center of this sort of horizon scene is a wolf. And it walks towards you. And you are standing there out in the open. And as you see it come closer and you remember the sort of the trial and how it attacked you before, now it nuzzles your palm. And its presence is almost comforting. And it looks up at you with eyes, one green and one red. And that's just something you see in your dream. The next day you will wake up, some of you with much hangover, some of you confused from whatever happened last night and wondering whether that was all a dream, until you see a contract and a strange book next to you. And so, as you awaken and you come downstairs, how do you go about your days, knowing that this is the day you need to find George Shamrock's ship if you want to take it to Eldrelith's watch?
Do we know what time the ship is leaving?
You don't. You know that it's passing the area during the day. You have to go to the docks and find it. Or go to the dock side, like the water side, to find it.
Can we, I tend to Astra, because I assume we're having, like, breakfast downstairs?
Yeah.
Just for ease of, like, all. Astra, would you mind sending a message to George Shamrock to ask him when he's coming?
Will do. And I will go ahead and basically say, reach out to George Shamrock and, or Captain Richards. I'm not sure which one I know at this point.
Captain Richards, sorry.
Do I know the other name?
Unless Cass told you, then you know Richards.
Yeah.
No, because he was always George Shamrock, right?
No, he was always Captain Richards. George Shamrock is the name he told you.
Oh, okay. Right. Have I told them? I feel like I might have.
Okay.
Oh.
I feel like when Loran gets on the ship, I think they're probably gonna know each other anyway. So
Interesting. Interesting. I wonder why you think that.
because of Loran and Shamrock in the past about being part of like this merchants thing, and then he had to go undercover. I reckon there's potentially that they might know each other.
Potentially. You never know.
I don't know. Okay, I think you know him as you'd probably still call him as Richards.
Yeah. I say Asher would just, out of respect, call him Captain Richards, probably. Formality.
Okay. Okay, so you send off that message just asking when they'll be in the area.
Yeah.
And after a moment, you get a reply. It says, "Come to the cliff sides at half noon."
The cliff sides at half noon. I give that information to everybody else.
There is sort of a stretch of cliff, which is about 3 kilometers long, from which people sometimes go to sort of view the ships and to just like see the ocean.
Just quickly, out of game, what time is half noon? Is that like 12:30? It's not like 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., right?
No, it's 12:30. I was about to say high noon, and then I stumbled over my words.
High noon.
So-
This ship
High
ain't big
noon.
enough for the two of us.
Can you tell
I
him
get you.
thank you, please, Astra?
Of course. And I will transmit that one to George Shamrock, or Captain Richards, and then afterwards send a message to Brian saying that we need to meet at the cliff sides at half noon to make Captain Richards' ship.
Okay, I can reply to this contact.
Yep.
Okay. Should I say meet you at the tavern in an hour?
I can't actually respond, but
I assume that's a yes.
You can go with your instincts. So as you gather everything you need, and Loran closes up his shop and puts on a sort of traveling cloak, and he looks down and he says, "This is a royal party, yes,
A royal party.
or some kind of big event."
It's a party.
And this isn't a judgment
I
on you.
think you
You
need
know
to
I
book-
never would. But do you want to wear this? And he
I'm gonna aim to be in for 10 or
Looks-
something.
looks at your outfit, which I'm assuming is still the one you took from his wardrobe.
What's wrong with this?
This is a fancy dress costume that I wore many years ago when some friends of mine and I were going to a party, and we wanted to dress as courtesans. So I had a wild upbringing. What can I say? It's entirely up to you. But if we're going anywhere near the capital, you might be giving off the wrong impression.
Okay, Brian's gonna go back inside and change the shirt.
Okay,
Back into
good,
his-
cool.
Is this better?
Damn it.
No more blue shawl.
Yep. So
You've still got the
R.I.P.
case. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's still.
he smiles and nods. It's like, I think that'll be fine. Shall we? Okay. As you guys head out, and as everyone else, you organize yourselves, do whatever you need to do in preparation before leaving. Is there anything specifically you want to get done? You have about a window of 2 hours if you want to make the cliffsides by half noon.
Can like go and get new clothes? Because I feel like
yeah,
like,
that was my next thing too.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
think
you
like
guys know
window shop or shop,
there is
whichever the wallet permits.
there is a sort of a market district just off the spire for where the arcane district is, which you know you could get like, clothing from at a reasonable price.
Is there like
And for the purposes of, go on.
is there like the
What's that?
equivalent of like a coin laundromat somewhere?
Yeah, Yeah, there is.
I'd like to go there.
It's called the Prestidigitation Station.
What, the
and it's just-
prestidigitation station?
It's called the Prestidigitation Station.
How do you spell
And-
that?
It's the spell Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
Press. Prestidigitation.
Yeah, okay. Prestidigitation station.
Prestidigitation Station.
Prestidigitation
And it's on the cusp
station.
of the Arcane District.
Okay.
And yeah. You go up there and you see a
Fish
big
laundry.
sign that says Prestidigitation Station.
Ah, the prestidigitation
And
station. This is the station
There's
I
a
was looking
picture
for.
Oh my god, please stop
Oh.
saying the name.
of a golden sort of cat-like face with like a purple wizard's hat on with like the stars falling off and it's all dirty and he's like and then there's a picture on the other side of it like beautiful and pristine and it's like and you go in and it's just a single desk with like loads of pictures of this cat face around with like the clean clothes and then the dirty clothes and then like you get the idea. It's just one guy sitting behind a desk and he's got like this cat mask on and he's got like a big pointy wizard's hat and he says Prestidigitation Station.
Oh, hi, so this is the prestidigitation station.
Yes, this is the Prestidigitation Station. Would you like to be prestidigitated?
Yes, I would.
Great! Give me your Prestidigitation Station items, please. My name is Wallace.
Also, for context, Neff is like back in her like deflated fat suit, and she's got her regular dress with her. So she
Okay,
hands
cool.
that to the lovely gentleman at the front desk of the prestidigitation
strips.
station.
She strips in the middle of the shop.
No, she was dressed up in her
Okay, cool.
good old deflated fat
And he
suit.
says, arms out. Close eyes. Legs apart. Brace your knees.
Braced?
Okay, and you feel... Hello? Yeah, I know, I messaged Mum about it. I will, bye!
Who was that?
My dad. It was
Interesting
another
fellow.
customer. And you feel your, what's it? Your body lift off from the ground and then slam back down
Oh,
as he pulls out a wand and he's like whoosh, 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 and he makes those. And you're clean. And he says 2 gold.
And I shakily give him 2 gold.
Get out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
for coming to the Prestidigitation Station.
Thank you for stationing my items.
Good. And you leave. And the shop immediately vanishes. I don't know.
She looks behind her like, okay, this is
It's gone.
what an interesting life experience.
Yep. So, everyone who wants to buy normal clothes. There's
Yeah,
very
Cass
normal...
is clean. She washed at the tavern. She doesn't want to
Yep.
be magically cleaned by some sort of creep wearing a cat mask.
So, you looked distinctly more like a furry than you would have expected. So, in the marketplace, for the purposes of this, I'm going to say, you find clothes which match your desired aesthetic and look for your character in the first or second shop that you see. If you want anything more interesting or want something bizarre or random, you can tell me and we can roll for it.
I've never actually created an aesthetic.
Okay, so I see a hand for Astra.
Yes, go to Astra.
I was just going to say I would like to spring for fancy-ish clothes for both me and Thor.
Okay, you guys.
And I have dragged him along with us, and we're gonna fancy him up a little bit.
Okay, you. Oh my gosh, it's like a Cinderella story, and like you guys go on like a montage of like, finding like fabrics that match his purple skin, and like he gets like a little haircut and a shave, and like they actually like just it's like a beautiful moment and a bonding moment between the both of you. And at the end, because you could tell before he was disfigured on one side, he was probably very, like, not very handsome, but at least nice looking. And he starts to see glimmers of his former self in the mirror now when he looks. And he's like, oh, I like this. Thank you.
Of course.
and he's wearing kind of like a. You can say what sort of fancy clothes he wears if you want to. Think what you find for him.
Probably just something that would like match what like kind of be complimentary, but still like
you look like a fancy like power couple.
yeah.
You look like a fancy fancy power couple. That's what I'm gonna say. So you guys sort that out. For fancy clothes, I'm gonna say that's gonna be 15 gold. I'd say altogether. Just
Okay.
because this area is more for like, you know, regular people, but they have a few things. Okay, so Cass and Bluey. Neff. Oh no, Neff's sorted.
Cass wants Brian, so
Cass wants Brian
for fashion advice. So she's going to like dimension door to the Loran shop where I assume you are still.
But they're just coming out, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, by the time you're within 500 feet of the shop, you realise it's only going to be an extra 2 minutes ish walk to get there.
Oh, okay. Then I'll
yeah.
I'll like be like, I'll see you guys later, and I run to where Brian is.
Okay, they are just leaving as you are arriving.
I'll be like, Brian, let's go shopping. Cass needs a new wardrobe.
Right now? Okay.
Well, we're going to a fancy party, and I'm currently wearing tatters, so I feel like now's the time to update the wardrobe.
Yeah, Brian's just giving you a once over. He's like,
okay,
I see your point. Let's go.
With Loran in tow, you also have an amazing fantasy shopping montage, where you guys go and it's like in every like cutesy girl movie where, you know, you go to like a shop and they're like trying on clothes and they're like no, and then you try on like an amazing thing and they're like yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? Like the montage.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
Okay, I want Cass to be very badass looking.
Okay.
But like not dominatrix.
What about a really just good tuxedo with like the top button like kind of just like undone, just like a little bit.
Kind of want it to be like party, but also battle. Like, ooh. I'm going to a party, but if you like brought out a dragon, like I'd be set.
In one shop, you do see this kind of armored jumpsuit.
Ooh.
Which is like really intricately like woven with like armor that kind of like looks like the fabric looks almost like chainmail. Although you feel like that's just aesthetic, and then like it's got like plate armor, sort of like bits of armor sort of woven into it.
Awesome. She wants that. And I also want like some really like cool headpiece, which is like kind of goes across, but it's not like cute with like
I get you.
Crystal.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't want that because Cass wouldn't. It's got to be like some sort of like threatening looking thing.
Okay, well what you do see is a kind of sort of like a headpiece that's like kind of a crown of like thorns and like silver with like spikes.
Yes, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah. So you buy these. I'm gonna say that's gonna be more in the region of like 20 gold.
Done.
Because cool. You want it. This armor is probably gonna say, let's say it matches your armor class. Just because whatever your armor class is right now, that's matched.
Awesome.
So Bluey. And also unless you want to change again.
I'm thinking getting sort of I can't. I'm sort of deciding whether I go like something sleeveless that people see the sort of strange red marking on my arms, or something with sleeves so that I don't know. It looks like I'm wearing some sort of fancy.
You
know.
See a shop called the Dapper Dragon,
incorporating like silvery, goldy sort of.
Yeah. You see a shop called the Dapper Dragon.
Drapey, I don't know.
Clothes made for dragonborns so that the tails can like be accentuated and that kind of thing. And you find like a sort of silvery gold kind of draped shoulder sort of piece, which just goes like over like a sort of like a simple but like well made like set of clothes. like a set of simple like trousers and a shirt, and it comes in the sleeveless and sleeved varieties,
Bracelet.
and like a cute bracelet. Yeah, you find that. It's like kind of like got like gold like sort of like pad, like not pads, but like epaulets here, and like gold chains and silver chains like in the middle, like connecting them. So if that's sort of something you're interested in, you can get that, or you can like have a look around a bit more. Okay, do you buy the sleeved or the non-sleeved variety? I'm just going to assume you bought the one which did sleeves. Okay, we'll go with it. All Star. Is there anything you want to buy?
I think he didn't at first because he's in debt, but I think All Star likes shopping. He probably sees something he likes.
Okay.
Kind of...
So what do you buy?
I took this picture ages ago with Thomas, so maybe if I can get him in. Thomas, you're gonna recognize this.
Oh yeah, they do have sleeves.
I'm curious.
If you want that, Bluey. That's a good look. Oh shit. Yeah, you
Oh,
can.
I do remember that.
Yeah, you find it. And do you know what? I think that
Damn.
Loran buys like kind of like a reddish version of a similar thing, but with like a longer coat and like Son's tie around the neck, and instead it's got like kind of a tie around the waist. And you do look like Victor and Yuri from the pair dots at the end of Yuri on Ice.
All of Brian's
Where's
room.
Thomas? Oh, there he is.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay. Cool.
Can Cass also get a knuckle duster?
Yes. Yes, you can. It does 1d4 damage and it costs you 5 gold. Do you want it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can it like look very aesthetically pleasing?
It's
like
beautiful.
It's not just like a knuckle duster. It's kind of like matches the like
Yeah.
band of like jaggedness.
Guys, it's beautiful. You don't understand. You look amazing. And even Kaylee goes and she buys this like amazing like ball gown, like from a secondhand shop because she doesn't have that much money. She literally just came out of a siege, but it still looks great.
Does it look gay or does she want more? Because like depending on what she wants to buy, Cass will help her.
I mean, hell, let's say retroactively you helped her buy it and it's like
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. And it's like got like gold stars like embroidered into it. And you all look amazing.
I make her a flower crown of gold flowers.
You all look amazing, first of all, can I say. Astra and Tholmir look like the most hip, hottest power couple. We're on par with Loran and All-Star. And then Bluey and Cass look like they could majorly fuck you up. Kaylee looks like her Serene Royal Highness, Kaylee. And Neff is clean. So... it's beautiful. It's a miracle.
Living that budget lifestyle.
Okay, so yeah. For reasons I can't say, that's real funny to me. You'll find out why it's funny.
Oh my god.
So, as you all reconvene at the beginning of the start of this marketplace, everyone is looking at you because, like, you stand out so much. Everyone is like in working clothes. Everyone is got like packs on their back. There are still a fair few refugees kind of dotted around who are a little bit like dirty, and you're just kind of like standing there like Vogue, like. So, as you begin to walk cliffside, I'm assuming you kept your practical shoes because it's a bit of a walk. You're traveling about an hour and a half on foot. Or...
Can my boots be jagged too? Sorry,
yeah.
retcon.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want now. And everything you're wearing can be improvised weapon. Fuck it. I don't care how you do it. If you can find a way to do it, it can be a weapon. Oh no. You guys are weapons of mass seduction right now.
Oh yeah.
Especially Neff.
Especially Neff. With the fat suit deflated and like a dress over the top.
A
You
clean
kind of
dress.
A clean dress.
The cleanest it's ever been.
you guys kind of make your way up towards the mountainside district, but you just veer off the way you would have gone to the Axe before when you first went there. And as you're walking along the path, the cliffside opens up and you turn towards it. And you know this is just like 3 kilometers of viewpoints. It's like kind of like a hiking trail. People come and spend their weekends. And it offers a very good and clear view out to the ocean. And every now and again you see, oh, maybe it's that ship, but it's not. You notice. And looking, you're kind of scanning the horizon line, and everyone make an investigation check.
Natural 20.
Cool.
15.
Okay.
Seven.
Bluey and Anna? I'm sorry, and Bluey? Bluey, I missed it.
11.
Okay, we all did pretty good. So
11.
you're all looking, and everyone except for Bluey's a bit slow, notices the familiar shape of the Harbinger off on the side. And as you're all about to say, "Oh look, it's over there," Neff just shouts, "There it is!" Because she saw it
There
a
it
fraction
is!
before.
Ha! I win!
And the Harbinger is within sight for the first time in like, what, 2 weeks, I think? So, how do you get there? It's like 4 kilometers out to sea.
Magic carpet.
Magic.
Okay,
Everyone.
so Thulmir, Kaylee, Neff, Bluey, Astra,
Shoo.
Cass, All-Star, Loran. Okay, so there are 9 of you. So we can put... You can figure out how you do this, if you
I'm gonna
want.
bring Shoo up.
Somebody has to
And
like
take you
Princess
out.
Carrie Neff.
Yep. Hell yes.
Okay, all the lightest people with Shoo and heavy people on the carpet.
Okay, so
But someone with
Kaylee,
one carpet.
Kaylee, and Cass. Thulmir is pretty skinny. Who else? That's 3. That's about
Neff
as many
is
as probably
pretty
Shu
light.
can. Shu can probably carry about their combined weight, because that's the combined weight of say 2 humans.
Okay.
So 3. There's still 6 of you.
I can transform into a bird. It's not a problem.
Okay, you transform into a bird. It's 5. There's 1 person extra.
Can I hang off something?
Do you want to transform me into a bird as well?
Yes.
And then I'll just fly.
Okay, there we go. So we have Shu carrying Kaylee and Thulmir and Cass, and then
No,
you
Cass
have
is flying.
okay, but then
And
there's
then
a point
someone goes from the carpet to
yeah.
Shoo.
So it would have to be Astra, Neff, Bluey, or Loran.
So Astra's pretty light, so she could. I mean, she's
Okay.
tall, but she's wiry.
Okay, Astra can bird up, and Cass can be on the Shu, and then the rest of
No,
you.
Cass wants to be a bird.
Okay,
Oh, wait, hang on.
so here's the issue.
Biggest person into
The
a bird.
reason Kaylee and Cass were going to go on the on Shu is because they combined to make the weight of 1 person.
Hmm.
Thulmir is really
Oh, I
light,
see. Okay,
so
Cass
they
will,
make 2.
I'll
Cass will stay
transform
with me.
Bluey into a bird because I think Bluey might be the heaviest. No,
That
no
would
offense.
check out, I think.
Okay.
Okay. So, now that you've all sorted that, 2 birds, a flying carpet, and some strange, bizarre, weird creature all begin to make their way over the ocean. Well, from the perspective of the people. It's majestic, but it's bizarre. And slowly you come closer and closer and closer to the Harbinger until you see a familiar deck, and you touch down. And I think Kaylee shouts out, "Ship hoy!" and like jumps off and is like, "Haha." And then Thulmir kind of like shakily gets off. And I don't like flying, and I don't think I like floating either. And then
Before Cass gets off, she
You're
strokes
like-
Shoo and says thank you.
Shu kind of hums. You hear it in the back of your mind. So as you all touch down, you see the familiar crew, a couple of half elves, humans who basically just extras, who are like hands who are helping around on the deck, and then there's the main crew who you remember, the sort of aquatic half-elf looking Kira, who is like sort of hanging upside down from one of the masts, like looking at you. Then there is Flora, quartermaster, or maid quartermaster after Mayan led her mutiny, who kind of comes up and is like, "Welcome back on board. Good to have you here." You see Yimik, who is kind of like sort of standing by one of the like masts, looking kind of hench. And when he sees Astra, he blushes. And from below deck, Constance, the large Furbolg individual, emerges, flanked by the sort of teal, tiefling, golden-eyed George Shamrock, who is wearing a sort of sleeveless jacket, Son's captain's hat today. And he looks over to you all and he says, "Welcome back, my friends. I trust your journey north was successful then?"
It was, thank you. And thank you for having us back on the ship.
Okay. And so, who would have been looking for this? Cass, because you mentioned it before. Make an insight check as Shamrock comes out.
Oh, that's a bad one. You dice are
Bad
going
one.
over here. That was a 3.
3, good. Good. You can't quite tell if he has any reaction to seeing Loran or not. There's a lot of you there. If he has a weird reaction to anyone, then you lose it. You can't see. Anyone else who you think who you feel would have, your character would have been looking for something like that, you can also check. But seeing as Cass, you were the one who like noticed it beforehand.
Speaking of weird reactions to characters, I should probably also post a reference image of what Neff's fatsuit actually looks like.
Do we really want to know?
Oh yeah,
Some
you
things
do.
are better left unsaid. Oh. Okay.
Before I forget any longer and Lily kills me, at some point soon or very soon, I'm going to show Brian all of the stuff from all the books that I found in the tents when we did the siege search, including the royal picture.
Okay, so you want to show the history of Kalkan, the shortened history of Kalkan.
Yes.
You want to show the prayer book.
Yeah.
And you want to show Necromance Volume 1. I think Neff has that.
I have that, yeah.
Yeah. Just anything that we found, I'll be like, we haven't really had a chance to do this yet.
Okay, well, it's
not necessarily right this second.
So we'll get to that in a sec. Cause
yeah, but just before I forget again.
I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Loran said he didn't know Shamrock.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but he doesn't have any reaction to seeing this man. That's because Cass was looking for Shamrock's reaction to Loran, not Loran's reaction to Shamrock. So, and if you want to make an insight check, you can. All Star.
On which one?
On Loran, to see if he recognizes.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Wait, insight?
Yeah.
+8. 19.
19. He doesn't recognize. No recognition. So, as you settle down, he says, "You guys look a little bit too good for the ocean, but I suppose that was to be expected. Who are the birds?" First of all, I have a few questions. So the birds are raised, I'm assuming, All Star isn't here, and the blue one. Great, good, and the blue one. Then you are, and he points to Kaylee, and Kaylee goes, "Kaylee!" He's like, "Okay."
Kaylee's an old friend from my town.
Oh, cool. Okay, I see. And these one, you, and he says, "My name is Loran."
Oh God, these two meetings are interesting.
He says, "The pleasure is all mine." Shamrock goes, and then he points over to, and this one, and Thormir says, "Thormir, hello." He goes,
He's a friend.
"You two are so interesting." Oh. Funny. And he kind of like takes a step back. He says, "Well, if you want to rest below deck, there is space down there. As I said before, the ship is yours for now. It's my ship. And I believe we have a day or so worth of traveling. Make yourselves comfortable." And he smiles and he makes to sort of go into his cabin. And the quartermaster, Flora, the elven woman, says, "I assume you remember where everything is?" Cool. "Great!" Pats you on the back. And you are left to your own devices.
Cass is going to take Brian. They're going to go to the front of the ship where they did their Titanic moment, and
Hells yeah.
we're going to have chats about things.
Neff is gonna go change.
Cool. So, what
Well,
do you...
into the fat suit.
Out of the fat suit.
Cool.
Okay.
So you go to the head of the ship. There's nobody really there. You assume you're out of earshot of the other people.
Okay. Before I show anything to do with books, I go, "So how was the apology? Seems like
Brian
it
knows
went
straight away
well."
what you're doing. Just puts a hand over your mouth, says no.
Come on, Brian. Tell your best friend.
If you get me drunk later, maybe. Right now, no.
Okay. Do you at least blush?
He does, yeah. He's Brian.
Yeah. Okay. Cass raised her eyebrow, kind of looks to where Loran is. I assume still on the deck.
Yeah, no, Loran's talking to Yimig.
And does Loran look over at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Cass winks at him.
He
And
winks
he's like,
back. He knows that All-Star hates it, which is why he does it.
Okay, back into the conversation about the books. Now I show Brian stuff.
Okay. So Cass hands you first of all a prayer book, which is sort of handwritten. It's got handwritten notes in it. Handwritten notes in it about the tears, about Carmentran, the deity, about potential courses of action and what to do and that kind of thing. It belonged to, you can infer with Cass's help, Galdric Peacefeather, and any other information. I think I said it to you, Cass, you, George, but that's basically the gist of it. The second book is a shortened history of Kalkan, which basically explains how the country was founded, the history of the ruling families, and the succession of the Karadaman Yazar dynasty, which is the current royal family. And in the front, there is a sort of watercolor painting, which depicts a human male, his queen, also human, and sort of a young son at the front and another child. But actually, you couldn't really make out the genders of the children because they're quite young. But they have short hair, and I just said it was a son, so it's a son.
So there's two children.
There's two children.
And what about the younger one?
You can't. Again, it's hard to tell. They're babies, so.
Okay.
And underneath it says hang on, let me just check what it'll say, because I want to get this right. It would say. Chotomate. Oh no, I don't want to know about the social organization. monarchs. Sorry, I have this really overly long document. Oh no, this is the edited version that I sent to you guys so that you wouldn't learn any secrets. Ah, sorry. Hang on. Basically, it says that it's the royal family, but it's dated for a previous generation. So you imagine that the royal family, or like this is like the royal family when they were much younger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Brian, anything? Have you deduced anything?
You can roll any checks you think would be necessary.
I don't know if he would. I mean, he's royal, but I don't know if he would have any real knowledge of the family in Kalkan.
Yeah, I mean you've never met them, certainly. You don't really know so much about the country. I mean, the Maasai didn't really have much to do with them. They had more to do with like a prayer and that continent. But if anything more than that, you'd have to roll if you wanted to find out what.
I'm gonna say maybe ask Loran. He might know something more about Kalkan than I would.
Okay. Also, I do want to speak to Loran about the mole, which is gonna just. I think the mole has just taken to flying on the raven because the raven will never be away from the mole. So they're just like a kind of duo, kind of going around at the minute.
Exactly.
Because Cass does want to speak to Loran about the mole. She knows that the mole is his brother's familiar.
Yeah.
And she knows that he was also a bit shady about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
So Cass does want to speak to Loran.
Okay.
Do we call him over? Or should we? Boyfriend. Brian, are you summoning him?
I mean, if you want to, Brian
kind
didn't
of like
that was just me.
he's kind of making like me here, there, me.
Can you?
Who me? Who
You,
me?
Loran.
Okay.
You, Loran.
Yes. The one and only.
The one, the only. And then I'm gonna like whisper in his head, Loran. Because I'm having a lot of fun with my new like.
He whispers back, Loran.
You got it.
And what can I do for you, my friends?
So I have some questions for you.
Of course.
One, how are you? I feel like we haven't spoken.
I am doing very well. My business is getting back on its feet. My relationship is going fairly well.
Cass, not just Brian.
Brian is just very, very intent on the sea at the moment.
I am generally quite okay.
Ah.
And you, Cass, how are you?
I'm great. I'm loving my new outfit. It's been a while since I shopped, so because
you
it's
look
quite good.
Like you could fuck someone up, and
that is
an aesthetic I can get behind.
That's exactly what I wanted. It is great. But
Indeed.
to what I called you over for, one, the mole that has been named
yes.
the hands, that is currently riding my familiar, because I know that it's Sarah's the hands familiar, and
yes,
was just kind of wondering why brother might have made his familiar tag along with Neff.
Oh, I do wonder that. Yes.
Come on, Loran. I know you know.
You want to insight check Loran? Yeah, sure, go for it.
Well, no, he didn't even say any. Your insight checking. I'm gonna persuade. I'm gonna roll persuasion.
Sure.
24.
24. He knows, but he's not telling you.
That was a 18.
18. Well, let's just say that my brother likes to keep tabs on those he has interests in.
And why would he have interests in Neff? Do you know anything about her past? Because she can't really.
I feel like you should ask him and her about that. I'm not really in a position to say anything. Not that I would.
But I feel like Neff doesn't know a lot, and I feel like she would knowing her past.
Irregardless, those are hers. to find out, I believe. Whether I know or not is of not of a concern to you.
I think if Loran's not going to tell us, then perhaps he has a very good reason for not doing that.
I
we
would like to. I would hope so. I'd hate to think that Loran would keep anything from us if it was vital that we knew it. And I say that with everything that would entail, like a little bit of like a but I won't press the subject. But I am like going to be like, I hope that we don't find out anything that we should have known before.
As I said, whilst I am in the sector of dealing magical items and learning properties and secrets that they may hold, I'm not necessarily in the market of selling or telling the secrets of people who might not want them to be told. So,
Okay.
That being said, if Sarazo does come forward with any information, then I'll be happy to share my side of whatever I might know or may not know.
Okay. Do you know where Sarazet is?
No, I don't care for where he might be.
That's fair. Family troubles. I feel like all three of us can really relate to that.
Hells yes. Indeed. Anything else? That was number 1, I believe you said. So then it would be a number 2.
Yes, I show him the royal family, and I just say, what if anything do you know of family?
As far as I'm aware, that boy points to the older son. Is or was the most recent king of Kalkan until the revolution. So.
And what of the youngest child?
The youngest child, I do not know. Went off to marry some stronger, more powerful princess in the neighboring country.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Actually, this dice. Which one do I want to use? I'll stick with this. That wasn't a wise move. That was a. Where's my insight? That's a 13.
13. He's being honest. He's telling the truth, as far as you're aware. It doesn't. Knowing what you know about royal families, that doesn't stretch.
Yeah.
He's like, being the second son is hard.
No. I kind of pat him with the hand that's not got the knuckle duster on.
No, I am very much over this. So
yes, I don't even need to insight check that. I know that's it. I know that's a fucking lie.
Oh, no,
I don't say that out loud. I just.
He says, to be honest, in my family, the one who has the most hang-ups is my older brother, and I don't interest myself in those. Not anymore. So, is that all you wanted from me? I feel like you were expecting something different.
Just curious about Neff's past, and I do worry. She gets herself into some situations. The fact that she doesn't have her memory. Obviously, I know also about the fact that she's got like spells on her. I don't say that to Loran. But
have you told Neff about that?
Neff was there.
Neff was there, but I wasn't sure if you were the one who figured out it was a spell or okay.
It was so
back, yeah.
That figured it out. Okay. But I don't say anything like that to Loran because I don't think it's his business. And yes, but I'm honestly saying when I say that I'm just worried about Neff and hope that I can, if there's anything I can do to help and find out for her, then I would, which is why I thought I'd ask.
Well, like I said, perhaps speak with her, find out what she wants to know. So that was a 1, and then there was a 2. Is there a 3rd, or can I go back to my conversation?
You can go back to your conversation. Thank you, Loran.
Later, sailors. And he walks off. Gives you a wink, all start before he leaves. I can feel you falling out of love with him.
No, Brian doesn't sigh. Brian's just red. I need to restrict my own reaction.
For sure.
I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but this is kind of do anyway. Crunches mage hand, and pinches Laran's bum with it, and then when he turns around, points at Brian and says, "Brian, step forward."
This is workplace harassment.
So, with his insight,
Brian points at Cass.
Can I do a performance?
Yeah, instinctive or deception would be more like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Instinctively, he looks to Cass, and then instantly over to All-Star, and he like raises his eyebrows, and then depending on deception.
It was cocked. Oh no! That was also cocked, but I can't remember. 16.
16. Looks over to Cass.
Brian's furious. Brian like
Back
shoves
to
it
Brian. Back to Brian. He's like, so many people around. Perhaps later. It goes back to Yimik. So
Brian,
whilst
you
this is
do a
happening,
shove Cass.
whilst this is happening, Astra, Bluey, Neff, and Co. What do you do?
When Yimik got freed up, Astra was going to take him down below.
Take him down. Yeah.
With Thulmir and start kind of doing some dance lessons.
Okay, so are you putting them in a pair and then you're trying to like instruct them, or are you putting like yourself in like and like dancing them, or it's singles, or?
It was more so using Yimik to like show, and then while Thulmir watched, and then switching off.
So I think you're like going round like switching partners up, and you've got like a kind of there's like just a sad looking bard under the ground under the deck, who's watching you, just kind of like playing music like half-heartedly whilst you do this, and the more you dance, like more upbeat it gets, and over time, Fulmir's like kind of shook expression, which is kind of green from the sea, becomes a bit more relaxed, and he's like, I like this, I think. And he's kind of like he's not very good at it, but he's doing a little jig.
It's alright.
And he steps on Yimik's toes and he goes, I'm sorry. And Yimik says, it's fine. And they kind of just like look at each other and they look at you and like, if we step on each other, do we stop? Oh, we keep going. Okay.
Keep going, yeah.
No, keep going.
If you look at your feet, they'll lie to you.
And Yimik goes, my feet will lie to me?
Yes.
I can only trust my hands.
Say,
Why do hands come up so much in this stupid game? Sorry.
I'll say, as a character, I was actually a dance instructor, and that is what we don't look at your feet, they will lie to you.
That's so cute. He believes you wholeheartedly and is like hands like set on his hands like, don't lie to me. Thulmir gets it. And over time they begin
don't
to
pump each other's arms, they're not an oil well, my darling.
We link, oh no, okay. And they're kind of like trying their best, considering this is like a swaying boat. But you're amazing, you're a great teacher. And you get the impression that with a bit of time, bit of dedication, they could be amazing, accomplished dancers. Like their builds even complement if you wanted to like do them into like a pairs routine, or if you wanted to like join in the middle and make like a chorus line, then it would work. And like Yimik looks strong enough to like do lifts potentially if you wanted to. Oh, it's just great. You've got a whole routine coming up in your head. So.
But like Brian needs to have some lessons.
Yeah, Brian thinks it's but
Some tango lessons.
If Brian wants to join in, he is more than welcome.
You would have seen them go below deck. Okay, later on, there's enough
But like
now.
Cass wants to join as well.
Okay, there is now enough to form a proper squad of dancers, and you begin to put your routine together, and you think, wow, yeah, we should make a band. It's great. Roll just a general performance check, Astra. Leave it to Astra, and then you can roll with advantage because you get assistance.
The sisters.
Ooh. Hey.
What'd you get?
Ooh.
That sad bard that you met before just like picks up the pace and the music is so energetic and invigorating that like deckhands like stop what they're doing and peek in to like watch as you guys throw down. And you are already looking amazing. You now look even better. So, with that in mind, the 5 of you are downstairs. Son's Kaylee, who is kind of above deck and is kind of talking animatedly to Kira for anyone who can see. Kira is not responding, just staring at her like. And then, over time, she kind of gets the impression that there's going to be a conversation and comes down and joins you. And is like, wow, guys, you look amazing!
Join in the fun.
Hell yeah! And she joins in the fun. So, that's you guys. Neff and Bluey, what are you up to?
So I guess I would have just changed, and I'm just on the top, on the upper deck. And
Okay.
in my possession, I have the bronze locket with the crystal with the engraving in it. So Neff
Yeah.
is just like staring into it, leaning over the edge, kind of deep in thought.
I think that, hang on. Yeah. You hear footsteps come behind you and someone leans next to you on the railing and looks down. You see it's Captain Richards. And he says, that's pretty.
Oh, hey! Ahoy,
Hello.
Captain!
Ahoy, matey.
What brings you
That's,
to this ship? And then as soon as she says that, she realizes that was kind of a silly question. But she goes along with it. She doubles down on that question.
I own the ship.
It's a lovely
You know
ship.
what? Thank you, I'm very proud of it. It's, brings me here, I suppose, would be my work as a merchant. What brings you here?
Well, the assisters, really.
So that's what you ended up calling yourselves.
That's what we decided on, yes. We went through a democratic process.
Okay. That's kind of how we decide on the crew here. We go through the processes, we
Ah, I love
choose
democracy.
things.
She looks out into the distance. Democracy. She inhales.
Interesting. You are from Calcar? I inferred from the slight accent and just your general demeanor.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm from Calcarn. I'm not exactly
think so?
sure. To be
Oh,
quite frank.
okay.
I don't have much of
Okay.
a memory from anything prior to about 4 or 5 months ago, unfortunately.
That
or
is
at least
bizarre.
nothing very clear.
So that would be why you're so trusting of the Chrism Collective, and you notice that they've been helping you.
Am
along
I
the way.
trusting? Neff
Are
is just
you?
sort of thinking. I'm not sure.
Neither am I. I barely know you. I've met you, what, 2 times in my entire life?
Oh, but you seem nice. I can't help but trust you.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you. I do pride myself on being. It's a present from me to George.
Ooh.
I do pride myself on being a trustworthy and honest individual. I mean, I know the horns, and he points to kind of like his crown. Would say otherwise, but I mean, you're a tiefling too. It can be a tough world sometimes. People don't understand.
In response to that, Neff, like a little kid, just kind of feels her horns a bit and puts her hands back down by her sides. Yeah.
That's cute. Mine are a bit too pokey to feel, but it's I'm glad we met. You seem like a fun person to be around.
I'm glad you're glad we met. I'm glad that you're glad.
I did mention before, we are doing a couple of trips around. If you ever wanted a permanent position on the crew, we could use people like you lot.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
For sure. So this locket then,
Yes, and she looks back at her hand, almost forgetting that she was holding it in the first place.
don't drop that into the ocean.
Ha! She laughed nervously.
So, is this gift from a loved one or a relic from your past or
Well, and she looks back at it.
looted treasure. I'm a fan of looted treasure.
You know what? I'm actually not entirely sure myself. I just feel this strange intrinsic connection to this piece of jewelry. I'm not entirely sure why. Which is kind of
Can I see it?
bothers me a bit. Yeah, here you go. She hands the locket over.
He takes it and he looks. And he says, exactly what I thought. Then
She
he
looks
looks
at
at you
him
and
puzzled.
he smiles. He says, "Oh, no, it's from Kalkan, so you were
You
right.
recognize it.
It's well made and pretty fancy."
She grabs it back and she's staring at it like this now.
Interesting. When when you take it back, his hands are still there and he kind of like puts things together.
Yeah, Neff is a bit awkward.
You know, again, if you ever wanted to go to Kalkan, I go there fairly often. I'm sure I could help you.
You
discover
could?
things about yourself.
I mean, you could.
Well, I feel like I'll need to convince you that
Well, I'm
I
not
feel
so
like
sure. I don't know if I would.
good idea.
I
No?
might have to discuss it with my my fellow sisters.
Well, and in any case, if you do ever want to go or you find yourself there, please come find me.
No
I don't think I'll
worries.
be able to find you somehow.
Out of curiosity, do I
Yeah.
look familiar to you? By any chance? In any way? Not necessarily
No.
in the most direct sense.
No, not at all.
Well, okay.
Sorry.
Thanks for the conversation.
That's okay. I'm always open if you ever want to ask any more questions about Kalkan or
I might
Anything
take you up
in
on that.
anyway. I should get back to actually steering the ship.
Oh, and
I'll
then
talk
Neff looks back.
Oh, it is Kira there, but Kaylee is like hanging off of one of the wheels, like, let me try it! And then Kira's just kind of looking at her like,
Can I see this from the
Anyway.
distance?
yes.
Just watching in bemusement.
He kind of turns, like, his sort of weird silhouette with like that crown of horns, kind of against the sort of blue day. He looks very
Cinematic.
cinematic. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And he kind of goes like, and walks over towards the
Neff
steering wheel.
waves frantically, and then turns back around.
So, last but not least, Bluey. What are you up to?
I would like to look at the letter that I remember her name. What is her name? What is the name of my dwarven childhood friend
IT.
who gave me a letter and the
IT. It's IT. Remember, because we saw the IT written behind you on the whiteboard when we were coming up with this character. I can't hear you. Oh no. Wait, I hear you, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. So you open the letter.
Oh no.
So
Hello.
hello, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. You open the letter, and when you unfold it, it's kind of folded into three. The back side has like writing on it, and it just says, "For Bluey," smiley face, and then next to the smiley face is a strong arm, which is like red and blue.
Oh.
And then like at the bottom of the page, like a little further down, as if it was added as a little heart. And then you turn it over, and it's not actually a letter; it's a drawing of you and IT holding hands and doing the strong Kim 1. And it's like a picture of like a drawing of Melas, and it's like it looks like a kid's cartoon drawing. And it's clear that IT drew this herself. and because of the little arrows that point to like me, you, and then like in the background there's like a sort of like row of people like linking arms, like yeah, which you like recognize as some of the refugees, and like there's Marlena in the corner, kind of going like yeah, and then there's like Finnegan with his who was drawn as a human and then added on those like just like kind of colored over in blue and like horns, and
Oh my god.
yeah, so it's just a cute like drawing. It looks like a 12-year-old did it maybe. Yeah.
Right. That was very nice.
Mhm.
I just hope I don't drop it.
Okay, you can put it back in like the little envelope it came with, and you have a bag which is
Gosh,
pretty
yes.
much waterproof.
Nice and safe.
Yes.
Good. So you look at the. I'm not gonna lie, looking at that only took you about 2 minutes. So you and Neff both still have quite a lot of time if you wanted to do anything else. The others of
I
you,
probably
you notice
probably
everyone else has
wanted-
gone below deck.
down. Yeah, I'd go below deck as well.
Okay,
In my nice clothes.
amazing. So you all
Feeling
join the dance.
nice.
You join the dance party downstairs. Neff, I don't know what you're doing.
What was the name of that book again? The necromancy one?
Necromance. Yeah, volume 1.
I want to read that if I have time.
Necromance.
Okay, so the story of Necromance is about this man who one day, whilst walking through the streets of Ashissel, which is a country, the oldest continent in the world, country in the world, sees a statue of a great hero from times past, slaying a like serpentine beast, like dragon-like creature. And when he sees the statue, he falls in love instantly with the hero. However, when he goes and inquires further about where he might find this person, he finds out that this person died over like 500 years ago.
Oof.
But his love is so strong that he decides, instead of moving on and finding someone living, he is going to instead learn the forbidden art of necromancy and bring them back to life. And that is where the story ends. As you're reading that, it's them deciding to learn necromancy, and yeah, you don't know what happens because you don't have volume 2. Raphael has it.
No,
Unless
you
you took
told
it
him too. I didn't take it. I didn't take it from him.
You didn't take it? No. Okay. You can always contact him and ask him to send it to you, or find it in a bookshop.
Well, I'm gonna have
That's
to.
volume 1. So.
It's pretty cool.
What an emotional roller coaster that was.
It was. You have like a tear in your eye, at points. But it's it's actually very well written. And it exists in the real world. But
What?
yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a real book.
For real?
Yeah, it's one of the Skyrim books. Called Pala. But, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look into this.
It's called Pala. It's one of the Skyrim Elder Scrolls books.
Volume 1. I should read this so that I'm more in character.
I've changed it slightly. So, some things might be different.
Okay. Fair enough. Neff is into it. Neff is really into it.
Cool. So, as night begins to fall, and you see on the horizon where once was cliffs and mountains gives way to just a wall of trees. Those of you above deck slowly begin to go down as sort of the night crew come up and are taking their shift to keep the boat going and steering it safely through the waters. You'll come down, and those who are dancing, kind of a bit exhausted, collapse your feet around the little fire pit, which kind of leads up to an open point, so the smoke can filter out. You all sit around, and eventually Shamrock comes as well, wearing some fairly simple clothes, and he sits down opposite. Cass, Just roll a d20. Roll a d20.
Can't. You're muted.
What is it with the D20s and me today? 10.
10.
Maybe it's
Okay,
just a
wait.
straight up.
No, it's not. So I want to check one thing. Okay, no, it's not enough. So, Shamrock sits down and he looks around and he says to all of you, "So, shall we play a game?"
Absolutely.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It's called the campfire game. And he pulls out a deck of cards and he's kind of shuffling them in his hand. And he says, all you have to do is draw a card and tell a story.
I'm always triggered by a deck of cards now. I'm
Yes.
always like, you say it and I'm like, ah!
The suit you choose determines what story you spin. A tale of love, and he pulls out a heart. A tale of pain, a club. A tale of loss, the spade. And a tale of gain, the diamond.
Wow.
So
Does it have to be real? Made up?
that's part of the game. We decide at the end whether it's real or not. And you can tell us yes, or you can attempt to lie to us. And the intrigue doesn't stop at the story. So, who wants to go first? And he holds out the cards.
Seeing as no one goes forward, I'll go.
Okay, roll a d4 for me, please.
4.
4, a tale of gain, diamond.
Okay.
You pull out a diamond card, and he says, "These ones are the most fun, I think."
So out of game because I'm little. So just anything.
It can be real, it can be fake. It can be part of your backstory. It can be anything.
Okay. So it was before I started on these epic adventures in the Fang, and I was tavern brawling in I don't even know anymore where it was. It was just a haze of drunk. But I was tavern brawling with someone, and I won, as always. And the pile of gold in it that I won was a map. And the map, which seemed a bit tattered and useless, but I'd kind of been expelled from the tavern in the nearby area. So on my way to a new town with new taverns, I decided to have a look at the map and see where it would lead. And it took me to some caves in a nearby mountain. And whilst I was kind of on my own, kind of tinkering with my brewing supply, kind of got a bit weird. My brewing skills weren't quite up to scratch. So a large part of my time in the cave, I'm not sure whether I hallucinated it or whether it was real. It's all a bit of a haze. But there was some dancing gnomes. There was definitely a bard. I felt like that one is definitely real. But the gnomes were kind of like kept changing colors. I'm not sure if that is like what the bard was making that. It was all a bit confusing. Anyway, I had to go through some like riddles. I had to solve some puzzles. And at the end, there was obviously a treasure, because obviously what I'd found was a treasure map. And unfortunately, it was someone had been there before me, because the map was obviously they bettered it, so they clearly had exhausted it, or so they thought, because I had obviously magic powers. So I decided to do like a scan of the room, and behind the chest, which was emptied of all of its apparent worth, there was a little sigil, and on the sigil it told you a secret of a spell, which I learned and then have in my repertoire.
What spell was it?
You have to guess my spell.
Interesting. What have we seen? Any ideas? And he looks to the rest of you.
I want to say true.
I want to say that the story is true, for sure. But I also want to know what the spell is.
I'd
The
also
spell.
Sure.
I'll tell you what the spell is, and you can then tell me whether you still think the story is true or not.
Prestidigitation.
I mean, I don't have prestidigitation, Neff. I mean, I do now because of the brooch, but I don't have that in my repertoire, so you fail. It was find familiar spell.
Interesting. It's certainly true. So now you can turn this familiar of yours into different animals and have them work for you.
Yeah, so it was the spell to let me find out to call a familiar. And I think whether it was a hallucination, I'm not sure, but I wonder if maybe the gnomes, maybe they weren't gnomes, maybe they were other things, but I could, in my hallucinatory state, thought of them as something else, but I wonder if maybe they were familiars in the previous cave.
Interesting. I want to say it's true. Any other guesses, or shall we find out?
Sticking with true. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Brian?
Well, then.
See, I don't know, but I don't know if Brian would be like. Can I insight check, or is it that not?
Yeah.
How it works?
Yeah, you can. I would say so. Loran is going to put his hat in and say, "Well, if everyone is saying this is true, then I will certainly say it is false because one person should win, at least."
Now I've got to actually decide because obviously I've just made it up on the spot.
Yeah,
so
we
now
can.
I'm like, do I want it to be my actual backstory? It's kind of cool.
18. Okay, 18. Cass, you'll get it right, is what I'll say. All star, whichever you choose. But Cass decides obviously which is true.
I'm going to say it's true.
Well then, Loran goes, "Oh, well, fair enough."
I think you played the game well there, Loran, though. Always got to have one.
It was a stab in the
Mr.
dark,
Captain.
I'd say. Yeah.
Are there any stakes to this?
Oh yeah, maybe I
Do
should
you
have
want
asked
to
that
make it
before.
interesting? We certainly can. Let's put in a gold piece each.
Mhm.
All right.
And every time you get one wrong, we add one to the pile. Every time you get one right, you can choose not to up your bid. People who have the most right answers in the end win. How's that sound?
I don't have money.
Well,
Um,
we don't have to make it interesting. This is already interesting enough, I feel.
Maybe let's not bet, because if that kind of explains.
For sure. What about this instead? And he pulls out a tankard and sets it in the center and says, "You get wrong, you drink."
Oh, that is something I could definitely get back.
Well,
alright.
Loran picks up the tankard, takes a swig back. Anyone else?
Since I technically didn't guess, does that mean I get to take a swig?
Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah! You can choose to drink that, or you can drink your own supply. Get a higher for your own supply.
I'll just drink the game's supply.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would like to draw a card.
Okay, roll a d4, please.
Alright. 4.
Another tale of gain.
Right, so you know this like giant hulking sword I have on my back? You know, just
Yes,
most times.
I did clock it.
It's pretty impressive. One day I was sort of in, you know, I wanted to wander off into the Sea of Green. It's a green sea, sorry.
Mm. No, it's okay. I understand what you meant.
Visiting. And, yeah, there's this lake, and, yeah, and then I sort of get this sort of, like, sense that there's something in the lake, and I look in the lake, then I go under the water, and then I see a sword there, and I'm like, it's just lying there, and so I pick it up, and that's how I got my sword.
Do you know what? That's so
It's a good
delightful. I want it to be true. I'm going to say true. I'm going to say that's true.
Cass is going to say it's false.
That sword doesn't look very rusty. I think
Yes,
it's
but
false.
it does look pretty cool. Okay.
I'm gonna say false.
So, my friend.
It's true.
Well.
More alcohol.
Astra didn't vote.
Astra didn't vote.
Yeah.
So, like, if you had had a chance, what would you
What were
say?
you gonna say?
Sorry.
I was actually gonna say, I was like, it sounds like it's at least half true is where I was gonna go.
Yeah.
So
It is true. Interesting.
What did Loran say?
Sorry.
I'm still gonna.
Loran's just drinking.
He's a sore loser because he lost the first round. He's out of the
I
game.
think-
He's actually still pretty
think-
sober, but I think he, yeah, but he then passes it straight to All Star.
Cheers, Loren. I'm already kind
think-
of tipsy now. Ooh.
I down
I
a
was
can
just-
of strong zero.
Nice.
I was just a bit like too excited to blurt out my answer that I just sort of was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't."
It's fun. Do not worry.
Fine.
I can handle my alcohol very well.
Really?
So, anyone else?
I'll draw a card.
Okay. Roll a d4.
I just did, and it's a 3.
3. A tale of loss.
Okay. Sorry, drawing for inspiration here.
It's okay. Take your time. The stories about loss can be harder to tell.
While you're thinking, well, after I told my story about my familiar, I've summoned it to changed it into a cat, and it's now just like sat on my lap purring.
Brian loves it. He's-
Neff is quietly losing her mind.
Astra's
And,
quiet.
and is the mole still on the
Just
cat?
clicking excitedly.
I like it. This is a wonderful image. Shamrock's like looking at it like,
I'm actually gonna be super sad if my familiar ever dies. Because it's not died yet, it's always been the same familiar.
It will be the same when you resummon it.
Okay, so it always
It
stays the
bamps back to like a different dimension. It doesn't die.
same. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Because I didn't want to just be like, oh right, it's died, let's replace it.
Oh, wait, no, Neff wouldn't say that. Heavens, yeah.
Sphinx, yeah.
And the tails don't necessarily have to be our own, yeah?
No, they can be anyone else. They can be any kind of tail.
Okay.
So long as you know it to be either true or false.
Yeah. Don't do what I did and start the tale and then have to decide at the end.
There was once a young man who had everything. He had a career ahead of him. And then there was a great change in his life, in which he lost his mother. He threw away his relationship with his father. He threw away his career. And in doing so, found a new mother, a fulfilling relationship with another young man, and even a baby sister. And it wasn't the life that was originally intended for him. But in the end, turned out to be something perhaps even better for his soul. Time passed. And the ache between he and his father lessened until one day he began to mend the rift. It was a day that his sister, on her 18th birthday, decided to pick a fight with someone very big and very bad, leaving them all in debt. And it took the young man a moment to kind of reevaluate everything. Everything that he thought he'd wanted at one point in time, he realized didn't matter anymore. So the young man went out. He bought a ring and planned that when his debt was served, he'd propose to the other young man. But as they went through their various trials, and as they went to go and complete the deed, as it were, the final one, before he could with the ring clutched deep in his pocket, as they walked back to the magistrate's office, the magistrate came out to meet him, summoned a dark force, and his beloved was incinerated before his eyes.
Is that the end?
That has to be true.
Man, I'm tearing up IRL. What the hell, man? Yeah, I'm saying it's true. Holy shit.
I really hope it's false, but I'm gonna say true. And I hope that I drink.
False.
Even if the story is not true, I believe the emotions behind it are. I knew you were interesting. So tell me.
I read it in an old history book.
Oh.
True, it was true.
Wait,
Oh.
false, because it's not.
It's true.
I misunderstood this game.
That's so in character.
And for anybody, I say out of character, that was how how we ended basically our act 1 of my first campaign with Zentiel and Zenobia.
The hell, that's so intense. Holy shit.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Oh no.
Can we not end our campaign with incinerating?
I was
Incineration.
Time will tell. Well, Loran, Boba, watch your backs. I'm coming for you. IT, and Neff doesn't really have anyone yet, but the rest of you, there's a lot of cannon fodder, so okay.
Yet.
Yeet yourselves out of this campaign. As people go around and tell stories, some easier to see through than others, people begin to sort of file out, and you get drunker and drunker, and you can decide how drunk you get and how much you win and how much you lose. Does anyone else want to tell one more story? Okay.
Come on, guys.
I think Brian makes a conscious decision not to tell a story.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Neff prefers guessing. And drinking.
Brian's very cagey.
So I rolled a 68% for drunkenness.
I like that, actually.
That's a good
really
way of doing it.
Wait, what?
pretty
Okay, I'm
good.
doing that.
A percentile dice for drunkenness. Everyone roll a percentile dice.
Can Cass have
51.
advantage because she's...
Sure.
So when you do the percentile dice, I always get it wrong.
You do the D10, which has the whole numbers on it, and then you do the D10, which has got like 1 to 0 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you roll? You're very drunk. You're the drunkest you've ever been in your entire life.
Oh, that's not good.
All star. And Loran is, let me tell you.
So then how does it work?
Oh, he's 37, so he's all right. The 74. So the number with 2 is
Okay,
first.
so that would be 15, right?
Yep.
Okay, well I'll roll again because I've got.
So
Oh wait, so that would. Okay, so I've got advantage, so I won't take this one. Aim is to be not drunk.
if that's what you want it to be, then yeah.
Actually, because that's 100, right?
Yes, that's 100.
That's past
Fuck it. Cass is.
Ooh.
She didn't just have the 10 strong zeros. She's also like I don't know. She's found some other stores. She has gone
Yeah, you've gone into
all
the car.
out, and she's
gone-
100% drunk.
Okay, so
But she
everyone
hasn't
who
been for a
rolls
while.
above an 80, you are almost inebriated. Everyone who rolled above a 50, you are barely keeping it together. Everyone who rolled under a 50, you're saving your dignity for now.
Barely keeping it
Loran is
together.
fine. Kaylee's surprisingly okay, which doesn't make sense in character, so I'm going to say she's barely keeping it together. Tholmir doesn't drink, so. Shamrock
This
is
is
okay.
me trying to look barely keeping it together.
Love that. So, as you all begin to lose consciousness or lose your sense of self, Shamrock calls for one more story if anybody wants to. If not, he stands up and he says,
Oh wait, Cass is 100% drunk. She wants to play.
okay,
All right. 1.
one is a tale of love.
Okay. So, I had some like dramas with the family and like didn't have a good time. Like when young.
Young is a word, I think.
So found group.
Wow.
Brian. She then hugs Brian. She just like
Brian
hugs
hugs
Brian. Then she's like Chrism Collective. And then she's like, these sisters. And then she just kind of is like, she keeps like, she's talking and she's like definitely giving you guys compliments and is like having some sort of like epiphany, but it's unintelligible and you cannot understand. But she's like
True.
super emotional.
Kaylee's like, it's fucking true. It's so true. I was there for some of it. It's beautiful. I saw it. True.
And and Cash tries to grow some flowers for everyone as a sign of love, but I don't know.
I think they're just like leaves.
Can I roll to see how well it goes?
I love
Yeah.
leaves. I love leaves.
Just to be like, I wonder how well the flowers.
I love leaves.
That
I love
is.
leaves.
That would be an 11.
Yeah, I think it goes about as well as 11 could be expected to go.
But you can tell that there's a thought behind it, and she thinks that she's created like the most beautiful bouquet of flowers like for everyone that she's ever made, and she like holds it out to all of you, and it's just like, this is how much you mean to me.
As people start to file out,
Thank you.
Shamrock says, "I'll have one story. I'll have one. Do you want to hear it?"
Yeah, Cass is like, yeah.
Once upon a time, I pulled out a tale of loss. So R.I.P. me. Once upon a time, I was traveling with a lot of very precious cargo, and along the way, we were boarded by pirates who wanted to take that cargo back for their own. And the longest and most difficult battle of my career took place afterwards. I was quite heroic, I will say. Protected my crew. Most of them are still alive now.
Hey.
Hey! And we fought as hard as we could on this very ship. We ended up losing the masts. Pretty much all the paintwork was ruined. We had to completely redo everything. It's barely a shadow of what it used to be. So that was the first loss, I will say. However, the cargo that we so dearly wanted was tossed into the sea and lost to us forever. It would have been the shipment of a lifetime. But we lost it all.
What was the cargo?
Just something very, very valuable. Do you know what? I've almost forgotten it now. I've come across many treasures in my time. And
Cass thinks that bit's a lie.
okay. Good to know.
How could you forget the treasure of a lifetime? And then she
finding
falls
the
asleep.
true treasure of a lifetime, my true love.
See?
I get you. That's why I felt this story. I felt it in my heart. So. True. False.
True.
I think it's true.
True.
That's true.
True.
That was Georgia. Cass is passed out. And Brian will have to tell her how the story
True.
It's true. It's true. Well.
Yay! Cheers to that. Go.
Sorry you lost your cargo.
With that, it's okay. I'm going to leave you all to save yourselves. So, adios.
From what?
Yourselves. Good night, my friends. And he walks off back to his cabin, leaving you in your inebriated states as you fall asleep.
We can play murder mystery.
Sorry?
How long is this trip? Did you say?
It's one night.
Oh.
I think at some point during the night, I don't think we're going to do it in this game, but Brian will tell Loran about the necklace while people are sleeping.
Oh, okay. I tell you. So I was going to say, as you all go to sleep, we'll pick it up next session. But yeah, so I'll make a note of that. And next one will be the party. At least we got this Dave done.
Someone will have to take Cass to bed.
Is the next one in like 3 days?
Because she cannot stand.
Yes. If that
I
works.
finished my essay. So I can
Good job.
I finished my exam.
Good job.
Woo! I haven't done anything. I go back to uni in 4 days.
Oh, you little fucker.
You know. Right, I'm
Wait, how does it?
Go on.
How does it work with winter uni breaks? Like, is it still the same like semester? But
No,
you just...
so we have 3 terms. So one is from October until December, one is from January until March, and then one is from April until June or July.
But that's like a half term. Like that's still the same term. It's just there's like there's a break in the middle.
Oh no, for us it's a proper month long break.
I don't know. I think we might have 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, in Durham we have 3. We've got the Michaelmas, Easter, and Epiphany terms. So.
But I will be finished on the 2nd of May. So
So jealous. I've got like 3 weeks after that. Yeah, no, but so that's why, and I don't have any exams. So this term I'll be fine with D&D, but this last term I'm probably not gonna be able to do much. So one shots, prepare them,
yeah.
and that kind of thing, to tide yourselves over.
Good luck.
So yeah, thank.
You
Gonna
can
need.
do the thing. I have belief.
Yes.
I hope I can. Right.
Oh,
Okay.
actually,
Oh, go
My
on.
last day at Tordo.
Huh?
Tomorrow's my last day at Tordo.
Oh.
Oh,
Tomorrow is.
the end of an era.
Oh, sad time.
4 essays to go.
Oof.
You can do it.
Oof. Not quite
not
the end
doing
just
too
yet. The era's ending.
That's disgusting.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, by the way, should I post that, fic for context or not so much in the channel?
What? No. No.
Yes. No. Do it. Do it. Do it.
What?
That good fic.
Ah, yes.
For context,
yes.
so quick bit of backstory. I wrote a
Do
fanfic
it.
for my favorite ship in this game, All-Star and Loran.
Ooh.
Right. So
Jeez.
also, Lily keeps deleting
And
her
then-
fics, and I think she should not be doing that.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I keep
don't-
editing,
Good luck.
Don't delete your fix.
changing, but I don't want to have the old stuff up when I'm doing the new stuff, So when I do the new stuff, I'll put them back. I promise. It is like 20 pages long.
Hell yeah.
That's
That's
Yeah.
what I like to hear.
And it's all G-rated. Thomas maybe might want to put a...
Oh yeah, this is like M15 probably. It's lewd, but
Right.
it's.
I'm starving, lads, so I'm
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
gonna go
love
as well.
you. Good
Alright.
game.
Have fun, guys.
Adios,
Bye.
friend.
Bye.
Bye.